Hello! I have returned. Good morning. How you guys doing? Hope you're having a good day so far. Let's go! Let's make some game today. Oh. Good morning, my brothers. Hope you're doing good. It's becoming a meme, isn't it? On my way.
Don't be afraid of poor marketing.
That's a long
and
way.
You'll be stronger. Good game will sell nonetheless.
Hope you're doing good, guys. Good morning. Yeah, I was along on my way. How long did that take? Oof. 1.5 hours. Goodness. Hope you're doing good. Thank you. Super Tonic, my man. Yeah, I'm doing good. Thanks for asking. Hope you're doing good too. Yes. I've got stuff to do because Zoe had not injection. What is it called? It's not an injection. Whatever that's called, guys. I usually always forget the name. But she got that and she might get sick. Vaccine, yeah. So I want to talk about the discussion we had on Discord today, because I think big supporter, YouTube member, it's in, but you're not a member. Yeah, we should have the YouTube members now. Thank you, guys. Oh, ByteUL. Thank you very much, man. You're a YouTube member. And Bachware. Essentially, it's a bit loud. Stop killing games. The biggest... not complain, I guess. Good morning, null exception. Hope you're doing good, man. The biggest argument against it is that developers will have a hard time keeping games alive when they run out of time. And so I was trying to figure out why that is, essentially. And so we had somewhat of a discussion. Rico has proven once again that he's unable to discuss things properly without name calling. So be careful. No, I'm not mad at all about null exception. If anything, I think Rico should behave a bit better when arguing with other people instead of just calling them stupid. I'm not listening to all of that. Good day. Morning. Good morning. So essentially the argument put forth by null exception, who is a game developer too. I called him stupid as well. Fair play. Okay, well, that's fine then. If you guys call each other stupid. Essentially, the argument is that online multiplayer games that require a server are difficult to preserve because maybe the developers, I'm not saying all developers, do not want to share their server binaries or how they set up their server with the public because it could be knowledge they can use for a different game. And therefore they want to preserve that information for themselves rather than give it out because they failed at making a game that is profitable over time. That's what I got from the discussion. And so I was like, okay, I can see that, let's say you make an MMORPG, and granted, how many game developers making MMORPG that are indie developers? I think that's a single percentile, if any, and even then, they're most likely not even going to finish their MMORPG. Or name me an MMORPG that is made successfully by a small team of indie game developers. The only thing that comes to my mind are the Kickstarter-funded MMORPG hype trains that have not led anywhere. Ivan is making an MMO. I don't know how he's paying the servers. Do you know that? I remember that game, yeah. It's not really a discussion for indies whatsoever. Yeah, I don't think so either. And I think that many game developers, including null exception, make it about the indie game developer to not... I think, in all honesty, I think it's just to protect other friends that maybe are part of bigger companies that might run into issues. So like, I only see this as a problem for the big companies and not the small indie game developers. Because if you're a small indie game developer, you're very unlikely to make such a game. Like, for example, The Crew. It is very unlikely that you're going to make a game like The Crew where you have to be online to play the game. So I just don't see it. And it's also very unlikely. It is very unlikely that as an indie developer, you're going to make a game like Overwatch. I just don't see it. So the argument that the small indie game developer is hit worse by this, I just don't see. And unless you can bring forth like a concrete example of a game where an indie team is behind that game and you can tell me exactly why the game would be in trouble, then I just don't see the argument at all. Because if we were to make the assumption Concord is not an indie team, sorry, absolutely not, man. Any team that has a funding of 400 million is not an indie team. Okay, you're joking. Okay, that's fine. You're respecting me! Stop it! So, yes. If we are talking about an indie game developer that wants to make an RTS game, okay, which is reasonable, even Real Supercool tried to make an RTS game. You can make one. Warcraft 1, 2, 3, right? These are possible games to make. Not crazy difficult, not easy, definitely very difficult on the scale of 0 to almost impossible. It's gotta be like 90% close to impossible for an indie game developer to make such a game, but it's possible. It is possible. And if a game like Warcraft 3 exists, and I guess Mr. Null Exception has never played Warcraft 3, so I guess we'll enlighten him, shall we? I can just open up the game a little bit here, because I have it in my system. Of course I have it in my system, huh? Because I saved that. Warcraft 3. There we go, here. See, that's the beauty of these old games. I can play this game even though it is, I don't know how old. And I can even play together with my friends because I can act as a server and we can play peer-to-peer against each other. Warcraft 3. And so, if we are talking about game preservation and you want to make this about online player games, then every single developer out there should be able to make a system like Warcraft 3, and it should be easy. Why? Because we have Unity, we have Unreal Engine. These engines should be able to do that for you. That should not be a big deal. Steam helps you with this, with their peer-to-peer system that is free. And there's going to be a lot of resources online that you can use for your own research to help you do that. And I would even argue that if you do something like this, it can only be beneficial to you as an indie game developer. Let's say you are actually paying for servers. Battle Royale won't work. Battle Royale might not work, but null exception, then tell me how can and I'll open the game in a second. How can Danny, and by the way guys, I can't open these games, okay? Germany does not allow me to view these games. Okay, so these are, I guess, adult games on Steam. That I guess are discounted or something. Price history, €2. I can't play these. These are tower defense games, you guys told me. Can't play them. Side error. Germany, my brothers. How can Danny, the game developer, make a crap game, which I would argue is in the same idea of a battle royale? You play together with many others in one setting. Obviously, there's going to be cheating going on here too, but if you're able to make such a game and have it be a free game, and you don't pay anything because Steam handles this for you, then I just do not see how an indie game developer cannot do the same. And if you're talking about a big battle royale, I feel like that is a different type of game. And even that type of game can work the same way as an end of life cycle. And it should not be too difficult to add that in, because we are not talking about preserving the exact gameplay experience like it was when it is alive. We are talking about leaving the game in a playable state. There's not a single time where they say, and that's why it's vague, because it needs to be vague. And I think the argument that it is vague is one of the worst arguments that you can ever make, because if you are specific about it, now you're forcing developers into something they can't or don't want to do. But if you're vague about it, a playable state can mean that you can alone start the game and run around alone, but no one can join you. Like an MMORPG, what people can do, and I'm not saying that that's the best solution, but a playable state would mean that you could just log on alone and play alone. Even though you can't beat any bosses, maybe you can't, let's say World of Warcraft, you can't even join a dungeon, you can still run around and kill monsters. You can still drop items. You can still play, aka log in. You won't even log in anymore, but you will just start the game. Now in an MMORPG, you have the client and the server, so that's more difficult to do. But in a game where like a battle royale, this is somewhat like a battle royale. It's a multiplayer game. So I just do not see the argument when there's clearly examples of free games existing and this game existing where it's been done before, and it's only in the interest of the customer. And I feel like if any developer wants to argue against that, then their first thought process is not to I can move it to the left. They disabled that. I can actually move it. Can I do windowed here? Sorry about this, guys. It just does not allow me to do this. Can I not make it windowed? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Abbrechen. How can I force the Warcraft 3 window to be windowed, guys? Is there like a force option on the executable? Can I put up something here in the properties to make it force open as a window? Is there something I can do here, guys? Read only, hidden. I don't know. Maybe one of you guys knows. Alt F4, Alt Enter. I don't think Alt Enter works, but I'll try. What are we are not stealing anything. We're talking about stop killing games, and I'm arguing against the developer side of things, saying it would too much strain on the developer, and I just do not see where that would be, other than for big companies that have terrible practices that need to die anyways. So if you're talking about a company that sells you a game and you think that you can play the game indefinitely, like for example Diablo 4, and then 5 years down the line they shut down the servers and you can't play Diablo 4 anymore, I want to have something protection. I want to have some protection against that happening. So, and now we are arguing about the different types of games and the different types of setups, because we have a community of game developers here that can actually argue about this and have some knowledge about this, rather than just a bunch of gamers that think, oh, the game should be playable. You're right. Let me play offline. Exactly. It should not be difficult to make the game run on your system. And so you don't buy games, you buy a right to play. That should change, Nicholas. That's my point. That should change. If I buy a game, I should own it. Guten Tag. I was thinking of it. Thanks. The fair compromise would be to allow offering non-commercial third-party services without the developers needing to support those. Yeah, sure. No, the developers would not have to supply a server, of course. I'm not talking about that. Diablo 4 is server authoritative most likely, so it would be very hard to make it single player. That's why a rule should exist, so that it should be possible that it will still be playable even if the server shuts down. Because you're effectively paying 80 euros without them telling you that they can destroy your access to it at any time. That's insane amount of works, bro. Not if you do it from the beginning. Again, I said it before, I'm gonna say it again. If a game like Warcraft 3 exists, why are we unable to do the same thing today when they did this in the Stone Age? Sorry, but this is, in my opinion, this is just lazy design, and it's done on purpose to not only steal your data because you need to connect to the internet, but also to do stuff like take away. It's just scammy because it's not impossible to do. It doesn't seem to be that difficult. This game is not a masterpiece in terms of coding. This wasn't done by John Carmack times 10. It was done by probably smart people. I'm not saying that these guys weren't smart, but I'm also not saying that these guys were all rocket scientists. So it's got to be possible because this game exists, and there's many other games that exist the same way. And so I just don't agree with this take that it is too difficult to change, because it is done on purpose so that they can harvest your information and they have control over your access. If I don't want control over your access, I'm just gonna let you play offline. That's just how I see it. And you can't argue that you can't have an economy with one person. Because if I'm able to play the game and I never trade, I'm effectively playing alone. And it doesn't matter when you're playing alone that if you cheat, because you're cheating for yourself. If I play this game alone and I cheat in the game, I'm not affecting anyone else but me. Cheating, in my opinion, does not propagate or does not affect single player games. Cheating is done for fun in single player games, and I even encourage it because it shows you how boring the game can be when you're cheating yourself to victory. It's just boring. I did that before. The game becomes so stale and so easy that you start over naturally because there's no challenge. So I just don't see it at all. The cheating aspect is only really needed when the game is running with a bunch of players in it. But the players dwindle. There's no community enough, not a big enough community anymore. I'm gonna stop chatting since no one cares. Oh, sorry, I'm gonna read your message, Mr. AQ. Where is it? But I didn't see your message. Crab Game and Warcraft 3 are not good examples. Why? So you're just saying that, but why are these not good examples? It is in some cases difficult. For example, games are not something that's comparable. I'm gonna stop chatting. Wait, but you didn't say anything. Read my past few messages. Okay. Okay, wait, so Alt-Enter, you guys say. Let me go one at a time, okay? I'll go one at a time. Of course. Alt-Enter is disabled, of course. These guys are smart. They disabled everything. I cannot force the window to be in window mode. Is there a way to force an application to be in window mode, guys? Do we have a config ini here somewhere? Do I need to Google that? Patch license support. Fuck Cakez. Hello, Mr. T-Cap. Good morning. Hope you have a good day. Asshole. Maybe Wilson, the game that is multiplayer and changes to multiplayer since the player base is low and they are able to do it. So why big companies are able to do it? Okay, we'll look up Wilson. Wilson, that was a meme. Okay, Wilson. I want to really play the Frozen Throne. I'm not saying the players have their own servers. Never once did I state that. The argument is about leaving it in a playable state. It's not about having your own servers. It is a playable state. A playable state is so loosely defined that it could just mean that you can run around in the world and look at it. You can't even interface with anything, but you can just run around. That is a playable state, in my opinion, in my book. So I don't know where people get this impression from that people are saying they need to provide a server. No, people are not asking for that. And I just do not see how people can even come to that conclusion. These two things are separate. The thing is, playable state. If I bought the crew and I loved driving my car in the crew, let me drive my car alone. No one cares. I'm not affecting anyone, but I'm having fun. I paid money for that, and I was under the assumption that I could drive my car for eternity, like Need for Speed Most Wanted. I can still put in the disc today and play that game if I want to. I drive my car alone. I drive down the road to the sunset. I think about the day. Think about the trouble of making a game. I drink a beer. But only one, because then otherwise the police will come. Anyways, so Wilson, okay. Cakez, check out. So wait, I'm gonna read Mr. AQ's messages, because I don't know how to make Warcraft 3. Crap game. Start Warcraft 3 in window mode. Maybe you can't do it. Dash window command at the end of the target path. So what you're saying is essentially one thing at a time, my brothers, one thing at a time. Verknüpfung erstellen. Create shortcut. So we create a shortcut, we open that in properties, it shows us the path. And then, do I put it in the quotation marks here? Or do I put it outside the quotation marks? Okay, so I guess it answered it myself. Okay. I guess you need to put it outside. Okay, apply. So please start it in window mode. Frozen Throne, please. Thank you. Awesome. So this game here. People are saying this is not a good example of a game that you can use as a good point for as a good comparison point for an online game. Why? By the way, sound. This game is in a playable state years after it went, let's say, out of life. Blizzard even shut down the servers. You can no longer connect to Battle.net. So for example, if I go to Battle.net right here, I can't. But I can still do the local network. It asks me for access. Now I can make a game. And I can play with my brothers. I can play with you guys. If we use a network connectivity software like Hamachi. So let's say that you are in an alternative timeline. Path of Exile is pay to play instead of free to play. How would they leave it in a playable state? They have queue servers, multiple databases, instance servers, etc. And all of their code is tied to a cloud service, Lin Code IRC. So even if it was given away, it would perish as soon as the API that they are currently using would be deprecated by the cloud provider that they are using. Okay, let's dissect that, because that's a lot of information, actually. That is a lot of information. Did you say that earlier too? Let me find your chat. So, what you are saying is Path of Exile. And, you know, I would even say that Path of Exile today, even though it's not free to play, even though it is free to play, but you're making the assumption that it is pay to play, I would even say and argue, since people spend money in the free to play model, it should leave, it should stay in a playable state. Now, so what you're saying is, and let's dissect this so that one thing at a time makes sense. Otherwise, it's a lot to take in. They have queue servers. So we need to draw pictures. At least I need to draw pictures, because otherwise I can't really wrap my head around that, because that's a big subject. Okay, let's dissect this, okay? Shit, that was wrong. Sometimes it starts this in a bad way. Here, I don't want that. Can you stop, please? Ah, it doesn't start. It doesn't. Damn it. Yeah, so sometimes it does this. Fine, we'll do it like this. That should be good enough. Let me make this black. And a new layer. Okay, so basically... And I kind of want the color switches, but fine. You were saying that they have queue servers, meaning that whenever someone is trying to log in, right? Let's say I am the player here. And I'm trying to log in. It goes through a bunch, not one, but a bunch of queue servers. That will slowly let people through to the next stage over time. That's what you're saying. So that's basically, that's PoE, how it is currently set up. So there's code running on this queue server. Kind of bothers me that this looks so badly. Guys, you will not be able to interrupt me. I have paused notifications. I think the essence of stop killing games is good, but the wording is too loose. No, it's not. It needs to be too loose. Like, I just don't understand how people are so stupid to know. Sorry, I'm not gonna say. Why do people not understand that it needs to be loose? Because you need to look at every single example in isolation to find a solution. If it's too restrictive, then that's the problem. The reason why it's good is because it's loose. Because you can't make a general restrictive assumption. You need to look at everything in isolation in order to find the best outcome. So what we're doing right here is basically what the people that are in charge of this, let's say this goes through, that's what they would need to do. It's good and bad though. It's only bad if you're thinking only till, I don't know, till the next time you eat or something. Because you need to think a bit further and try to understand why that's a good thing. Because ultimately, the bad thing is, it's simple, right? It's actually really simple. Bad thing is, you lose access to what you paid for. Good thing is, don't have that happen, find a solution. So like, that's how easy it is. It's as simple as that. It is also media that should not be lost. And so, okay, we have the queue servers, right? Let's move on. Multiple databases. So here we go, the databases. So what are the databases here? This is when you are in game. Let's say that's in game. Now, the databases are used for storing your items and your progression. Look, even I know that. So let's say you drop an item, let's say a cool little sword in the game. Let me try to draw one that's cool. You find an item that is then stored in a database, because you can have so many items that it would bloat your local storage. And so there's a bunch of tables in this database, DB, that stores this. And this database is not on your computer, because if it was on your computer, then you would be able to cheat. So this is on a server that is probably a separate server than this server right here. So here you have another server. Let's put this in small here. Okay, so now you already have two servers. Let me make this a bit smaller so we can draw a little bit more, okay? Let's make this a bit sharper. Should be good, right? No, they should make like 10 concrete examples what they're talking about, fighting for. what they would expect the solution for. Don't like this, fix it. Cakez. No, because in order to get people interested in it, you need to be vague. Because most people want that. And most people won't even read these examples. And this is not the point. It's first and foremost to bring a discussion. What we're doing here is the result of that vagueness, which is a good thing. Because then it gets more people involved in the process and we could find a solution. So it is good that it's vague. You can't make it specific because it most likely it is set up differently for many games. Now, there are repeating processes, of course, but if you can say it like that, but yes. Okay, now we have instance servers as well. So an instance server is basically the game running in the same. So like that one is a little bit more difficult for me to grab. I think because I've never done that before. Let's squash this a little bit. The instance servers, right? They're just instance servers. Like I know what an instance server is, what it's supposed to do, but how is it implemented, right? An instance server basically solves the issue of, let's say we're talking about an MMORPG. You're all in one place. There's 1,000 people, it's totally crowded, and you're fighting for mob tags, and you level up once every 2 days because you get one mob every 2 hours. Because there's so many people. Instances solve this issue by layering. I guess that's also called layering. Right? What are you trying to understand? Oh, we are going over the argument that stop killing games will make it harder for game developers to develop games in the future, and therefore they won't develop these games because they don't have a good solution, or the solution to have an end-of-life cycle for the game is not something feasible that they can spend time on while developing the game, essentially. So the argument is that it is too much work to put in the game, to change the game around so that the player can still play, so that it's better not to do it. So we are talking about this argument. And so we are dissecting this argument by doing an example of an online game that relies heavily on servers, which is Path of Exile. I think that's a great example to do. So let me put this here. This is the POE, a Path of Exile example. Oh wow, that's a cool font. Amen. And let's get a better one though. I guess this. Let's call it server example. And then stop killing games in front, I guess. I think that's interesting. So this is what we're doing right now, and we are looking at the different steps. So this is the second here. This is the login. Then this is in the game. This is the database for an item. And so you have a servers here for logging in. Then you are running in the game. You have items that you drop that are stored on a server in a database. That is your inventory essentially, so that you can cheat. This is for anti-cheating. And now we are currently looking at instances of this. So instance servers. Basically, this is running on a server, and I suppose you have another instance that is running on a separate server, but why do you have this? What is this? What is an instance server? 580k signatures so far, not bad. That's good. That's good. Yeah, really good. It's gonna turn it into a YouTube video right now. I think I'll talk about it like in a YouTube video, yeah. But it won't be. I will have to cut it up a bit. Retroactively, it will be hard. Yeah. So I agree with you that if you take a game like this, you can't really change it in a meaningful way retroactively. But if you design your game with this in mind, then I feel like that at least apart from the instance servers, which we still have to dissect, but the login would just not happen, right? Let's make a new layer. Login wouldn't happen because you own the game. So this is completely gone. The game doesn't run on your server, but it runs on your PC. And the database, that's just a file, a binary file. And so what I would do if I was the developer of this, and I have some knowledge, I've done this before, blah, 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 right? Let's say I have. Then I would just do, I would do an if check. If online, do this right side here. If not, do the left side. That's what I would do. And now that does look simple, right? But we have an example of a game that does this. You guys told me that Vulkan, wow, damn, Vulkan is dying, and as a result of that, oh man, holy, it's really dying. God damn that, oof. Release? Oh my god. They never recovered. Holy. Yeah, so essentially what they had to do is, yeah, dead, it's completely dead, holy. Listen, yeah. They had to shut down the game's servers, and now the game is running on your local machine, as far as I understand. Action RPG, single player. So if they are able to do it, and they have lost tremendous amount of players, I guess they never really had a big player base. If you're taking a look at these player numbers, they completely went in the gutter even a couple of months after release. But that's beside the point. They kept bleeding players. How long did it take them? I have no idea how long it took them. But they have an end-of-life plan for the game. So I think if they can do it, others can do it too. And now the game, the good thing about this is, and this is even good for the developer, they will still be able to earn money from the game by selling it. 90%, damn, should we buy Vulkan? Vulkan? Guys? God damn, 2 euros. That's even less than a dinner kebab. Holy, you can buy 4 dinner kebabs. Wait, you can buy 4 Vulkans or 1 dinner kebab. Maybe the game failed because it was client-based. Let's see. So you're making an assumption of why the game failed because they went client-based. I just totally do not agree with you, but let's let the customer speak. Could have been something abandoned by devs. Acts 1 to 3 are good, Act 4 sucks. Most disappointing ARPG launch in history. Dead and abandoned by the developers. So here you have it. Not a single one is talking about client side. It's content. And I knew this going in because it's always content. The one thing that makes it important is content. Controls are bad, basic attack movement is tied together, your skills suck, content, gameplay. Don't buy crashed on bugged game. Crashes, content, polish. So it's the same thing. You could literally be reading the reviews of a single player game. Cakez finally released. So you're making assumption that my game will have these reviews. Oh, how about you take a 5-minute break, Bo, and come back after that? Okay, thank you very much. No, I'm not saying that crash is content. I said polish. Okay, we're gonna read some. No, we're not reading more. This is rage baiting. TCAP is rage baiting. Okay, let's see. Surely, even with such a rating, the game could be worth to get a €2, right? No, having no difficulty options is simply pathetic. The rest of the game mechanics might be fine, but if you can't kill the first major boss, not tutorial boss, oh, this guy has a skill issue. With a single skill by clicking right mouse key for 1.5 seconds, you know the rest of the game will be very similar and boring. If you want to play an RPG while being even only a bit challenged, play Grim Dawn. So this is again gameplay, and if I keep on reading, I will see more gameplay issues, because the game has issues, not the client side and server side. It's not that, because people don't even know what that is. They click the play button, they play the game, they see monster, they kill monster, they get loot, then they use the loot. They don't think about this dog shit, because they don't care. Okay, can we please move on? Thank you. Anyways, so what I'm trying to say here is that if you design a game with this in mind, this should not be difficult, because the game has an update loop that can run on a computer. The computer can act like a server. The database, either you connect to a server, or the database is actually, since the game is running on a server, they are running on the same server. That's possible. So now when the game is running on your computer, guess what? The database is on your computer too. So essentially, okay, you can't tell me that it's so difficult to do this. Sorry. I know that there's a lot of stuff going on in the background with these games, and we haven't talked about the instances, right? The instance servers. Can someone give a good explanation on what an instance server is, what it's supposed to do? When I play Path of Exile, what does an instance server do? It's not about that, AQ. I know that people barely cared about the crew. It's about the fact that sometimes you want to go back. I already replied. Okay, I apologize. I didn't see that. Okay, let's see. He replied on what an instance server is. Sorry, let's see. When you switch an instance, for example, moving from one map to another, all of your character progression gets uploaded from the instance server to the database and then loaded from the database to a different instance server that you're joining. I see. So different maps. Why do you do this? Server instances have different meaning in MMOs, games like PoE. And games like PoE, yeah. In MMOs, you could think about it as layers, yeah. In PoE, it simply means that the server manages a map and all players connected to it. Ah, I see. I see what you mean. Why though? Why have that happen? Interesting. So I wanna understand that, because that seems a little bit complicated to me for no reason. I listened to Cakez rant on my drive to work. Lol, very entertaining. I appreciate it. I appreciate it a lot. Nahan, good work today, okay? Have fun at your work. It's Friday. Gonna stream tonight, tomorrow? Oh my god, you guys are so stupid. You think that people want 1 million players to run on your local computer? No, I want to play alone on my computer. I want to play Diablo 3 in its first version on my computer. And then I'm like, okay, I'm done playing this dog shit, imbalanced crap game, but at least I could give it a try. Much like Mr. I don't remember the name. The guy that killed Diablo on hardcore, the hardest difficulty. Creparian. Much like Creparian did, I just want to give it a try because I want to waste my time because my wife is away and I have 1 week. Why not just play the game that's old? I can't. Impossible. It's gone. Yes, this weekend. Cool, cool. Yeah, cool. Nice. So essentially now my question... my question would be, I really dislike the fact that I cannot disable that here. Though. The instance servers. So what you're saying here, this is in game, that's map 1. And here we have map 2. And in map 1 there might be 10 players. Right? And then in map 2 we might have 5 players. Now why are these maps running on separate servers? What is the advantage of that? I'm not discussing a solution for a law. I'm discussing an argument. Because people bring an argument and I want to bring a counter argument. And the way to do that is to engage with the argument. If someone says it's too difficult to change a server-side game, now we have an example of a server-side game. We're dissecting it and we're trying to find a solution. So I can dismantle the argument and say that they're lazy. That's why. Because I think they're lazy. That's all. Okay? Now, let's move on. Why do we have 2 servers for this? What is the advantage of that? It does not need to be a separate server. Okay, Rico, goodbye. See you in 10 minutes. Don't care. I'm gonna do it. Don't tell me what to do. You could literally be another thread, another process. Also, null exception wants to get banned too. Because he's not providing me... you said load balancer. You guys think that I know what this is? Literally didn't tell you what to do. No, he's trying to imply that I shouldn't do it because I'm not an expert. Search for horizontal scaling. At a point you will need a new machine. Search for horizontal scalers. Playlist. Oh, Sengo wants to go too. Goodbye. You have many servers so you can update in waves. Update what in waves? Horizontal versus vertical scaling. Guys, make an example. Just stop calling devs lazy for doing the setup. I'm not saying that this is lazy because they're doing the setup. I'm saying they are lazy because they don't want to do this setup. Listen to my words or I'll ban you too, man. Don't misrepresent what I'm saying. I'm not saying that. Yeah, and doesn't matter. Stop telling me I'm not an expert. I'm here to learn, so piss off, okay? Or I'm permanently banning the next person that says I'm not an expert, I should stop talking about this. You are gone if you tell me what to do. Shut the fuck up, let me learn something here, or get permanently banned and try to put your feelings and your projections onto another streamer. Okay? Go away. Let me learn here and try to find something in the same time. Okay? Also updating waves. PoE has servers. So, guys, why do we have 2 maps on separate servers? One machine can have so much RAM and CPU cores. When you fill that up, the machine, you can't have more threads on it. Sure. But why? So what you guys are saying is, let's say there's 1,000 players running map 1 on this machine. At some point, this machine is overwhelmed, it doesn't have enough computational power, then we have another instance server because that runs map 2. You could even have multiple servers for map 1. Let's say each machine can handle that many players. You have to split them. Yeah, okay, so basically what you're saying is it's a split on player count. You think that you get away if you give me money, man? I will refund you the money and permanently ban you then, bro. But I appreciate the support, bro. Let me play that.
Sengo 5x7. My man, thank you for $20. Cakez so clueless about
on resources, not really on player count, on resources.
Emoji, you are not too expert.
So basically what you're saying is, but the resources will be used up more because they have to compute more players. That's what I would assume. Okay, more players and more effects. So it kind of is related. I know that it's, guys, I'm not stupid. I know that a server does not mean a physical server. I'm not that dumb. But to keep it simple, can we just act like it's a separate thing? so that people can understand? Like, you don't have to be all smug about it and be just assholes, okay? How about you just be nice and talk about this normally? Because then people won't go after you and call you names. I'm just trying to explain another example. No, I don't mean you. I don't mean you. You're right, but in a big MMO the lines are blurred due to the big amount of players. I doubt playable state can be described for all games by law. IMO, the whole thing will end up being requiring devs and resellers to specify the date of end support. Probably. But, and so like an argument for that would be, if you have to tell me when you stop supporting the game and I can't play it anymore when I buy it, I'm much less likely to buy the game as a result of that. And I think that will kill the games even faster being developed, because the sales will drop faster than you having to worry about an end of life cycle. Because an end of life cycle means your game is still alive. So for example, in the case of Vulkan, which I think is a great example, and I wasn't really able to make that argument before, they will still earn money for the game. It's crazy how they just don't update the game. Like, you can't tell me that it's so difficult to update this. Whatever. They will still earn money today and 5 years down the line, even if they don't update the game. So it's only good for them. Bro, we are literally talking about the same type of game that Path of Exile is. Path of Exile is a live service game, and Vulkan started out as a live service game. Or am I wrong on this? People literally told me that it started out as a service game, then they had to stop that because the player count was going down. And they couldn't afford it anymore. And so now it is a single player game, you can see it right here, that does not rely on servers. It relies on Steam. A good argument is that the devs have a single machine server that they run on their PCs. See, that's what the argument I wanted to do yesterday, but I forgot about that. Thank you very much, Magic. Exactly. Another good argument that I thought about too is, when you're developing the game, you're not developing it in this scenario here. Most likely you don't. So you have a test system that is most likely local. So if you have that system, then the player can get access to that system. I'm not saying to the debug capabilities, before people could put words into my mouth. I'm saying that there is most likely a local setup that allows you to put that out for the player so they can play the game alone. If I can't trade in Path of Exile, I can still play the game alone because I can find the items. It might take longer, it might be more difficult, it might not even be balanced for that. That's not the point. The point is that I can log in and I can kill Hillock, I can kill the first boss, and I can keep playing, because otherwise I have no access. I can't do anything. And the same thing, I would even argue, could be done with World of Warcraft. That's not providing the server source. I just don't agree. And even if that is true, let's say that is true, you're providing the server source. How many people would spend the time and effort to dissect that when they could just try to hack the company and get the source code that way? It is much easier to do social engineering to get the source code than to try to rebuild the game using a pre-built binary file. Yeah, you need to reverse engineer the binary file, but it's much easier to just hack the company. If like that argument, in my opinion, doesn't make any sense, because it's thinking that everyone wants to do malicious things when people just want to run the click button play and play the game, man. It's not everyone. Like that assumption is so outlandish that it doesn't make any sense. Of course you're gonna have bad actors, but you have them today. What's stopping me from learning how to hack, social engineer myself into Path of Exile's community, into their servers, and steal their entire source code and leak it? Nothing. What happened to which source code got leaked? Was it what was it recently? The big leak that everyone was talking, like this website. What is it called, guys? The forum where it's not GTA 2, but not that. The forum. We were talking about this. Where 4chan? Yes, thank you. Yeah, 4chan. So, like, I just don't see that argument happening at all. Like, that will happen regardless. So that's just a non-argument in my opinion. And it's just a way of thinking of developer first, player second. Like, you can't do that. It's like we treat the developers like dog shit and expect that they treat us well. We have different values, that's all. I want to provide the source at my own will, not by law. But you're not providing the source though. You're providing a binary. You're not providing the source code, and people will not be able to crack that easily. So I can see what you mean though. Like, you have built something, like, I can see what you mean, but to me it does not make much sense, because if I ship the executable to my game, that's the binary. The source code is in there. It's just compiled. So you would ship that for the server too. People can crack without source or binary, bro? Okay. Read up, buddy. Wait, so they can crack your server without the source or binary? I don't know. Not for you. Yeah, no, but I think that's interesting. I don't know about these things. Like, I'm not a hacker, so I can't really tell. But anyways, so I think any argument, it just doesn't make any sense to me. Listen, I'm all open to the problems, right? I'm not saying that it will be easy to do, and there's definitely road bumps, but I only see this as a positive even for the developer, because let's say Path of Exile can no longer afford to keep the servers running because they're running out of players, but they give you this option here. You can play locally, and they can keep their Steam page, and they can use Steam to still distribute the game. They don't have any Kosten in English. Mein Gott, Kosten in English, man. Kosten in English. Whatever that's called, costs. They don't have any costs. No server costs. Nothing. Maybe some employees. Expenses, yes. So that's just a net positive. It will require additional work. Of course. It may ruin your service if your own players can compete with you, and it will facilitate cheating. You will play the game as a single player game. Like, I don't know why people get so hung up on this. Obviously there will be, if, like, I don't see this argument at all, because Warcraft 3 might have had a cheating problem too, but it works today. And it had a big community of players. Competitive players. So I just do not see this. Actually, I should keep that, because the windowed mode is cool. Who are you gonna cheat yourself against? Yourself. Exactly, yeah. Who are you going to cheat? Like, guys, playable state does not mean online game. Playable state means you can log in, not log in even. You can play the game. I just don't understand how people make the connection between that and it needs to be exactly like Path of Exile or like the game it is right now with all of the players and cheating protection. No, playable state is something else. And so anyways, sharing server code is not a good idea if you plan on making any games in the future. But you know, like no one talks about sharing the server code, Butterfly. So I don't know where you heard that. See, that's the point. That's the problem, that people are like, they jump to conclusions too quickly, in my opinion. Not every game needs to be playable. No, like, listen, I agree, Falkman, but either they advertise this, or if they don't advertise this, they have an end-of-life plan. And I think that advertising a game to be shut down in 5 years will be worse for the developer than having an end-of-life plan and accounting for that. I think it would kill the games faster than having an end-of-life plan. Because, listen, the customer will decide. And if the customers decide that they won't support a game that will be gone in 5 years, they won't spend 80 bucks on this, then the game will naturally die because the studio can't even sell enough to make a living. I don't get how you give an option of hosting locally without sharing the server side. No, of course you would share at least, like, now obviously this scaling here, right? I guess it's called vertical scaling, horizontal scaling, which means that you scale the game on multiple server instances. You would share that idea as well, but the argument that we brought forth earlier is that you're most likely going to have a development setup. And that development setup is most likely local. So give the player access to the development local setup without the development tools. So just the local stuff, basically the game without the additional stuff. Again, I'm not saying it's not extra work. They will not put this in the TOS. That's why this initiative is brought to life, or is put out, so that they have to inform you at purchase. How would PoE work without server-side code? Even a simple loot table doesn't exist on the client. All the monster behavior, etc. is server only. But don't you think that Path of Exile has a local setup so they can test? You think that they are always testing online? No, I'm not ignoring you, Aizen. It's quite a few messages, Aizen. I'm not trying to ignore you. I love you, Aizen! You know, everyone always says negative things about you. You're a nice person. Hello. When did I ignore you? Who fixes it when Windows changes and breaks it? What did Aizen say? 12 mod actions. Oof. Sage ignored. Who fixes it? Windows changes it. Changes what? Who fixes the code when Windows changes it? Listen, so if I'm the developer of Path of Exile and I can't afford the server anymore, and I try to give the players the local stuff if it's possible, and I can still earn some money, but I can't really develop on the game because maybe I'm doing something else. That's just a personal preference. I would give them the tools to fix it. They said and showed that they do it online on a cloud service in New Zealand. Okay, so they don't have a local setup. So in the case of Path of Exile, we don't actually have this right here. That this does not exist because they're using a New Zealand service that is online. And so they pay money for this service here, for sure. So for them, bringing the entire game to the computer would be a lot of work. All MMO games by default should be excluded. Nobody playing MMOs expecting to be able to play solo. I mean, you would listen, like, we can also talk about MMOs, but I think it would be a little bit too much. I can agree to that, I guess. There's a lot of games that allow you to download a standalone server to host yourself, either locally or online, to grow the game as well. If Valve can do it, everyone can. Yep, this is the most netcode. This is in most netcode libraries. In single player games, the server is running on your local machine. No, it's not the case for every game. It would require large rework to make it possible. So here we can see one example of where it would be a large rework to make it possible. But, and this is where many things also got it wrong. Path of Exile is a game that is developed even more. When did the game even start? More than 10 years ago, wasn't it? Path of Exile? It's gotta be more than... No, actually Path of Exile Steam. Here we go. It released on Steam later. So it's not actually that old, it's even older. 9 years, 10 years. When it 27 dev, 2012 closed beta. So the game is so old that this initiative wouldn't even be talking about Path of Exile. But let's say someone is wanting to make a game now, much like Path of Exile, then they would have to think about this going forward. And I think when you, and that's easier to do, I can tell you from experience that when you build a game with that in mind, it is easier than to go ahead and change a rigid system that you have optimized to run on servers, obviously. And so the initiative is not talking about this. This is an example of a game that would not have an easy time changing, but if you're thinking about it when developing, that should not be a big deal. I think they would just not do it. So not make the game. So I think like the argument that it would lead to less games being developed, I think would happen in both cases. It would happen when the developers have to do this locally. They have to think about this, but it would happen more so, in my opinion, if you inform the player that you're going to stop supporting it in 5 years, if it doesn't do well, then the player would be like, wait, I only get access to this for 5 years and then I'm gone? They would spend less money and most likely they would earn less money, and therefore the game would die naturally because of no funding. So then let's keep killing games. That's already normal practice in business software. You have support for X years, then extend it. You can pay extra for more. If they will change the law, you will get the same, and thus those costs will be put in the price of the game. Yeah, and then the developer, then the customer can decide, which in my opinion is fair. That's fine. If the customer decides they want to put this much money on a game that only lasts 5 years, then it's their own undoing if they lose access to the game after 5 years, because that's what they are promised. I don't have a problem with that at all. But if I buy a game like Diablo right now and they don't tell me that it's gonna end at some point and then all of a sudden it's gone and I can't play it anymore, that's a problem. So I think this initiative is only positive because ultimately it will put the decision on the customer and not the developer on what to do with your money. That's what I mean. Because right now, if I spend money in a game, the decision to keep it alive is not made by me, but by the developer. And when the developer tells me that it's going to be gone in 5 years, then I decide what I do with my money with the information given. Right now it's hidden, and that's not good. I wouldn't pay for gas. What does gas mean? And we are not talking about support, guys, okay? We are not talking about supporting a dead game. We are talking about leaving it accessible. You can have a Steam page running for your game that is single player and never look at the Steam page. Never update the source code. Do nothing. That is still leaving the game in a playable state. Yeah, I mean, how will the developers know? Yeah, they don't know TCAP exactly. But they need to give you a time frame then, still. They would need to tell you. They will probably do something like, if they had to do it, then if I were doing it, I would say, I'm gonna try to keep it alive for 5 years at minimum. And if the game does well, then I'm gonna extend that depending in 5 years, depending on the situation. So let's say in 5 years, I'm like, okay, I can go for another 5 years, we're doing good. Maybe they offer, if they offer 5 million fun to revive a game as a single player. It's not about reviving a game, null exception. You're missing the point. The point is that games moving forward need to be designed with this in mind. Baby Controller, Souls, Underclosure, Mr. Just Reborn, and Emmehan. Thank you guys for following. What about server versions? Should you be able to play version from the by day or after all patches? All versions with every patch? It's not that easy. That would be fine print. It's difficult to say. It's not even true, by the way. There are many games on Steam that you can start without Steam. But yes, many games. So, like for example, you can download and play Gothic 1 from Steam. And then you put it out of the folder, you put it somewhere else, you could still play it. But not every game. You can't do that with every game. As long as it has Steam integration, you can't play it. Cakez, my frustration comes with working on some big multiplayer games. Anyone will tell you it's a nightmare. Adding any more complexity like this is overkill. Hope you understand where I'm coming. Yeah, no, I understand that this is already like a spider web of coding that is really difficult to understand and even get through and running so that it runs mostly stable and it's not like Vulkan, eh? So you'll end up with a situation like Vulkan, right? Oof, 55%, 40, ooh, man. Hey, I get it, man. I get it. It's difficult to do, bro. But you also need to see the customer, man. You can't just leave the customer hanging that supported you. And you deceptively tell them nothing about you shutting down. Half of the team is now bald, 100%. Yeah, like Chris Wilson, of course. He got bald because he had to program this. I guess Chris Wilson wasn't the programmer though, so doesn't really apply to him, man. He's the marketing guy, more or less. I guess. Where is he? He's definitely not the big brains. Huh? Right? You know that emote? Is that right, guys? Yeah? Did I just say something stupid? No? Do I look smart? Nice. Yeah, fits our well. Okay, let's continue. Yeah? Jonathan is the big brains. Yeah, Jonathan is the big brains. Yeah, exactly. True. Didn't he code at the start? He did code at the start, yes. But they had funding from friends, so they kickstarted very... They basically boosted themselves up a bit with money. But hey, man, the game's good, so who cares, man? Really, it's a good game. John is a giga chat, his employees not so much. I don't know, I've not worked there. I can't tell. So I see this as being a problem, but if you're starting out developing with this in mind, I just... At least from this diagram, which obviously is not complete, there's more stuff going on. You won't have instancing on a single PC. So, yeah, because you're only running your own instance. There's one player. And then you're loading in the next level, which would just load in the memory of the next level. I don't know, man. If Vulkan is able to do it, and they are terrible at coding, apparently, because they can't code for any game, mechanics, nothing. I feel like you should be able to do it. Even if it's a lot of work. And the advantage of doing that is that your game lives forever. Meaning that you're also earning money forever. If you're shutting down the servers, if you're removing access to the players. They can't play anymore. You're also completely drying up any money that you might earn. And so you never know. So, and also the game is then completely lost to time. And that sucks. And in all honesty, why should, and listen, I'm a developer, but I'm also a gamer. Why should a gamer care about my financial situation? If I pay money for a product, I want to be able to play it. I'm playing Warcraft 3. I'm playing Gothic 1. I'm playing Gothic 2. These games will live forever because they work. They still work and they will always work. And that's why I love them so much. And I just don't want to lose memory, if anything. I'm curious if they run a server locally or they merge it with a client. You mean Wilson? I don't know, like what they did. We would have to ask them. But it's definitely possible. And so you guys are 100% certain that this game started out as a multiplayer game? Wilson was a multiplayer game in the beginning? If I look up an old version of this page, does it say multiplayer here? Did the things change? The tags change over time? Might be yes, no, since the same practices on Xbox gaming. Not the same at all. Having to support something means having to address new customer issues. Guys, I don't know where you get the idea from that they have to provide any form of support. I don't know which person in chat keeps spreading this dumb misinformation. It's actually making me mad. No one is saying they need to support the game. They can literally just leave it there on some download link, obscure, and people can download it and do whatever with it. They don't have to do anything. They literally have to allow the player to play the game. That's not calling support. That's not support. Support would mean updates, server stuff, community management, all of that. We're not talking about this. The initiative is not talking about this. No one's talking about this. It's so annoying that some dumb idiots keep talking about this when it's not what is asked for. It is literally, I double click the executable and I play the game. No developer interaction needed, nothing. Okay? So let's see here. Wilson, Lots of Man did not start as a service game. It began development as a traditional single-player action RPG, originally titled Umbra. Yeah, but Wilson was more fun because you could meme about it. Was funded through Kickstarter in 2015, while it eventually added online multiplayer features and seasonal content post-launch. It was not launched or designed initially as a live service game. Okay. So you can't really use this as a great example of a live service game that turned single player. They tried to add multiplayer, maybe doing whatever they tried to do. So I guess they tried to do too many things. One thing people forget about with unsupported games is that music licenses can expire and make it illegal for the game to be distributed. That was an argument back then as well, about the music, yes. So that would have to be figured out as well. It was most likely hacked on, yeah, probably. Random old date having the multiplayer Cakez web archive. Lords of Mayhem, thank you, man. This is gonna load a bit. Let's wait for this to load. What about GTA? They removed the songs / replaced them. It already happened? Yeah, so that would be my solution. You replace the songs or remove them, exactly. Or you give the players to an option to use their own songs or whatever. Not sure, but you probably just remove them, yeah? It already happened. So to me, every single problem already has a solution. And it's not really that outlandish. And so that's why, apart from the people keep saying that they need to support them, please stop saying that. You just look uninformed. It's not what this is about, please, okay? Understand, it's not about support. A playable state does not mean support. You're conflating two ideas. A playable state is literally just run the game, play it. That is not supporting. Nothing is going to happen anyways. We'll see. We'll see. I would love to have more regulation. Because I do not, like, in all honesty, while it's not the best game ever, Diablo 4, or let's say Diablo 3, I would love to be able to play some Diablo 3 in the future and not have to worry about it shutting down, because I have spent money on the game. And even if it's just for one short period where I play for 2 days, I would still like to play it. And it sucks to not be able to have that as a possibility maybe in the future. Guys, don't insult pirate software, okay? Please don't insult other streamers or other people here, okay? Don't. I told you before, I do not how do you say that? I do not condone that. I do not want you to do that. No one's insulting him, okay. And what I just typed is exactly how we make support contracts for business software. What you just described, what did you describe though? Just make it so when release the game, we will keep the servers online for minimal 4 years. After that, they will be extended or offline. If offline, binary will be delivered, and or we will remove the server dependency from the client. Yeah, something like this, exactly. Clear as day. I think this is an interesting discussion to have, and good that we went through this. It's definitely a lot of stuff that needs to be figured out, but it's not impossible. And if anything, like I'm a developer and a gamer, and I just only see positives. I don't see the negatives so much. Like, there are negatives, especially from the developer side of things. Having to change this is a nightmare. That's for sure. But you can also still have the game running locally on players' machines, and Steam is very powerful. The good thing is that Steam has to figure out their own solution when they eventually, or maybe they don't, but let's say they run out of money and their servers are drying up. They would have to find a solution themselves as well. Yeah, I think it's lazy if you don't provide a solution, yes. That is my honest opinion. Alright guys, we have a lot of... This is actually looking good. Yeah.
Make a good game and don't market it.
It can be a nightmare to code, but you can also be lazy. Because you don't want to do it. Both things are true, bro. Alright guys, let's move on. Yeah, I can't look at these games, Mr. ByteUL. 500 reviews.
No soap, no
looking
skill,
good.
no original ideas,
Tower defense, huh? Is it past tower defense?
No knowledge, no games released, no good text, no code, damn React Andy, fuck off, stop streaming, okay.
Can't really see the tags on this. Are you sure this is a
how
tower
fast I got
game?
how far I got high. How high I got there.
Team rating. Like, where are the tags here? Is this even a tower defense game, bro?
Collector's alt account just joined.
Glad to be back to my favorite Vulkan and Godot.
It's not safe for
stream.
work, but
Please
I can't open it
keep
up
your
in Germany
functions
anyways.
shorter than 5 lines.
You cannot open this.
These fucking softwares!
So yeah, anyways.
Demo out? Check. Mixed review? Check. Doesn't work on AMD? Check.
Only people from
Unbalanced
Germany and China
game?
can see it, yeah.
Check. UI bugs? Check. Yapping all day? Check.
I even tried a VPN service to see if I could look at the game that way, but not possible because you need to log into Steam to view the site. So
Hello.
it's a tower defense game or not? Am I wasting my time here, bro? Jen, MD, and Texo, thank you guys for following. Alright, my brothers, I cleaned up the game off stream.
Damn, this is actually looking good. Easily a mixed review /
True.
mostly positive.
We now have the Keystone. Didn't you say
Lone
he's
Ranger?
fairly easy yesterday? Why are you struggling? Well, the first one was, yeah, because he didn't do any damage.
It's a
but
Booba
this one you
defense
can't
game.
see anything. And second, he's black. You have to change your shopping region. Why for defense game? So yeah, guys, I did add in the Keystone. I cleaned up the game a little bit off stream. I have a lot more stuff to do. Before I get into it, I would really like to talk about a video, but I don't know if we can talk about it because it's unlisted. It is not actually online, man. So maybe he just doesn't want people to watch it yet, bro. You know, don't make an engine. You can, yeah, I know I can, but it's unlisted. So there's a reason why it's, maybe he forgot to make it public. He will publish it in a few days. He said so. Should I even react to it then now or wait? Should I wait or do it now? Because that's an interesting topic. I really like talking about it because he's developed games with his own engine for a long time. He did an early access for people that are in his server. You can talk about it, but still wait. With watching the video. No, I will talk about it when watching the video. There's no point in talking about it without the video. Wait until release. Maybe I should wait until release. It's not about stealing content, bro. Get out of here. Otherwise I wouldn't be talking about this. First, he wouldn't react unless they were old. Then he reacts at release. Now I was thinking of reacting before release. Okay, Azen. I'm not uploading the YouTube video until a couple of weeks later. Even if I'm reacting to it now, I will still only provide people with the link in chat. Okay, so it's not going to be its own YouTube video that takes away views. That's not what I'm doing. Do it and publish the react video before he releases the video. No, I can't do that. That would be so funny. I really want to do it just for the sake of doing it, because that would actually make people mad, and it would be so funny if I did that. Part of me really wants to do it just to make people mad, right? To call me like a stealer, an asshole, react clown, then copyright strike him. I talked to Randy before. I can't do that, asshole. Yeah. That's a great idea, yeah? Would they all be wrong? Of course they would be wrong. Great for engagement. I watched the video before he released it. No, guys, I can't do it. We wait. We will wait, okay? Do it? No, I won't. Absolutely not. I just thought that my phone vibrated, but it's not here anyway. I thought Randy was a J. Andy. Yeah, and? I think, and we're going to watch the video later when it's released, I think his main points are going to be that you have to focus on so many different things that are not related to game development. And therefore you're not honing your game development skills, but you're honing, I don't know, I guess programming technical stuff. And therefore you are much less likely to make a good game, because you're focusing on something else. Your energy is put into something that is not related to making a game fun. You're thinking about the engine rather than the game. And especially in the beginning, the distribution towards working on the engine compared to working on the game is the majority will be on the engine. So like 90-95% you're just working on an engine, and you're not thinking about, oh, if I spawn this many units, what if I counter them that way? What about this ability? Oh, I can't really balance it that way. What about this currency? Is it actually needed? Maybe it's obsolete. What about the UI placement? Does it make sense? Can the player guess what I'm trying to teach to him here with this mechanic? Can they understand it? Stuff like this is game development, and you get thrown into this game development process almost immediately when you're using a pre-made engine. But when you're making an engine yourself, that process is delayed by multiple years. I'm pretty sure it is multiple years, maybe more. The reason why Vampire Survivors is written in JavaScript and so many people just get it wrong is because this guy was making games before this. You guys are only thinking about the product that is the result of years of learning and teaching yourself something. So you can't look at the final result and say that that is how it started and that's the result. No, it started way before that. And that's why it's really important to talk about what happened before than to talk about the one product that finally made it. What about the other games that he made beforehand that didn't do well? Yeah, Slay the Spire is written in Java, Balatro is written in Lua. Like, it's all possible. I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm saying that the difference is between an engine and Unity, or making an engine and using Unity, is that in Unity, for example in Unity, you're focusing on making the game rather than making the engine. So you want to do a text, you type in your text, you position it on screen, you give it a nice outline, maybe a nice color, and you're done. In an engine, you need to load the TrueType font file. Shut up! You need to load the TrueType font file, you need to worry about the size of the font, you need to worry about pixel rendering. Sometimes the font's blurry, maybe it's deformed if it's pixel art font. There's so many things that you need to worry about and learn, and then you need to have the right resolution for the font, a render target that you're building yourself, and all of this stuff is so much work. And then you need to write a shader for the font too. All of this stuff is so much work. You're focusing on finding how to make a game, your game in Unity, a lot of the times. You're right. I'm not saying that in Unity you don't learn the tech too, but I'm saying that you are focusing more on the game development aspect than when making your own engine. The time investment comparatively is much shorter in Unity than it is in making your own engine first and then learning how to make a game. I won't use Godot for my next game, but I will try out Unity for sure, and we'll also try out Unreal Engine. Definitely. It's not directly making just a game, that's correct, Code agree. But you are closer to making the game. It's easier. Do you want to spread out the friction across the project and maybe more in the end, or do you want the friction up front and have a smoother development as you go further? You think it's gonna be smoother development as you go further when you make an engine, Mr. Code agree? Maybe. I mean, it definitely does take time to learn. I think so. Yeah, we'll see. You know, I will educate myself on engines in the future. The guy you rated yesterday, he built a lot in 1 week using Godot. No, yeah, you know, of course, like, but it depends, Shintai. You can't just take 1 week out of years of developing. Like, for example, I can make 2 levels a day for my game. But that doesn't mean that it's gonna be a good thing to do. Depends on the game you want to make. I mean, yeah, sure, if you want to make Noita, I don't see you making that in Unity. Quantity is not quality. Yep, exactly. How about trying the Onyx engine in the future? Okay, yeah, I want to try out different things. So the idea is, though, first, we get this game into early access, we fix the bugs, we have the game, let's say, running stable enough, we're getting feedback over time, and then I will slow down the development to also recover from all of the stress that I'm under now, to get it into a playable state. And then we'll have more time to focus on, let's say, the good old times, right? When we made games in Godot, we made the window kill game, we tried out J. There's gonna be a great time. I'm hoping. Listen, and I will still develop Tangy Defense, Tangy TD over time, but it just won't be, let's say, the predominant focus when it's out. It will be there. Will still be present. I will show you updates and I will develop the game on stream as well. But we will explore, we will expand and get more knowledge on other projects, other ideas. We'll build a web game using this C++ web library that TCAP told me about. And we'll just build a plan and knowledge for the next project as well, while keeping this alive, of course, right? I will not abandon this even if it doesn't do too well. I will still be able to make some updates based on the feedback, and I'm pretty sure we can keep the game alive on like 1 or 2 players if it doesn't do well at all. Let's say the game doesn't do well at all, I think we can get like 1 or 2 players in the game on a daily basis with updates, dates. I think that's possible. Because I don't think the game is that bad. Okay, I don't think I'm capping here when I'm saying that 1 or 2 players a day seems possible. I do my own engine, but I already tinkered with things like that for quite a while, and so I used multiple engine frameworks before, so I can make an informed decision that caters to my preferences. But I still wouldn't say that there's one decision to rule them all. No, I don't think there is. When it comes to this, I think the important part is, are you enjoying the process? If it is enjoyable enough and you're making good enough progress for your own sanity, then that is the right thing to do for you. That's how I see it. I'm working on the game, Shintai. I've literally cleaned up the game a lot off stream yesterday. Like I did all of these check marks here. This one too. And so I want to do these check marks here as well today. And talk a little bit about item drops as well. Do you think you will enjoy Unity more now that you understand game development more? Maybe. Null exception. I don't know. Maybe. How close are you to early access? Miles away. Very far away. But the moment I do have quite a bit of content prepared. I do need to flesh out some of the enemy designs though. You will likely hate the loading. I'm pretty sure I will hate how slow it is, yeah. I saw it on Dev Spudger's stream and I hated just looking at it. It already pissed me off and I wasn't even the one using the engine. So I will most likely not have a lot of fun times with Unity. Maybe Unity 6, people said that it's faster. I always see like, you know what the fun story about these engines is that, hey, have you heard about this? Unity 5 is slow, but Unity 6, it's 10 times faster, bro. Just trust me, it's 10 times faster. And then you boot it up and it's like abysmally slow and I'm like, you sure it's faster? Doesn't look faster to me. And so like this never is really true. I still don't have Fort Reload and have to compile run. It's still faster than play in Unity. J perks. Wait, can you not do a hotcode reloading setup in J? Is that not possible? Once you build an engine, you can never go back to Unity or Godot. I think you can if you're making a 3D game, Mr. Farmer. I don't think. Now, we'll try. But I mean, super cool. You tried. and I know I use you a lot of as an example, but you're making a 3D game right now. Do you think that it is possible if I use a physics library? I will not program physics myself, absolutely not. Do you think it's possible for me to make a 3D game if I use a physics library that gives me collision detection? And I don't do the art. I have someone doing the art for me. I would not do the art.
Am I so out of touch? No.
For you,
Underscore YouTube just subscribed.
my man.
Good morning, Mr. Cakez. Also 8 months. Where
Yeah.
has the time gone?
It's crazy. This guy came from YouTube, man. And he's also on Twitch now. Thank you so much for joining, Mr. Who Cares. And the big support, bro. 8 months. Hope you're having a good day, man. Cakez is so old now. I think I'm still good. You need to make an animation system too. It's a lot of work. Yeah, I like the kinematics or inverse kinematics or whatever that's called. That's gonna be a difficult one to do, sure. But if Randy was able to do it, hey, who's gonna make the art? It's gonna be at first, most likely if I have enough funding, Haskars. If not, it's gonna be art taken from the internet first. So I'm gonna mix some more animations and characters first, and then use those as placeholders to build a system. And then we'll see who does the art. If I don't have enough funding for Haskars. Because it's gonna be... I can't say that now, right? I don't know what the future will bring. How my game will perform, probably not so good, so it doesn't look too good. There's a ton of issues with getting random animations into your own engine. That was the biggest hurdle for me. What do you mean by random animations? So different file formats? Or what does that mean? Interesting. Yeah, the inverse kinematics exist with 2D workflows as well, yeah. But I think if any dev plans on making a game without doing the art, it's doomed to fail. But that's impossible, Supercool. There's so many examples of games that rely on other people to do the art and they still do well. Why? You think that the animations will not fit the game's playstyle because you're coding it and the archer the art guy doesn't understand? You need to develop a vertical slice of the game including world geometry. Yeah, but I mean, can't you just use placeholders for that? Like low poly structures, outlines. I should be able to make a low poly structure in Blender and then just upload that and don't texture it, just color it in a different way. Like for example, just a simple example, right? Off the top of my head. For example, can you just Control D and just please delete the layer? Because that's really annoying. If I, for example, want to make a castle. B. I'm thinking of like a way towards the castle. This way. And then I would just design, let's say this is like Eni's lobby, for those of you who watched One Piece. And then I would just make a castle like really badly, right? Something like this. In Blender. And so it would literally just be a couple of... Like that's the front, right? I would have to do the side and the top too. But essentially I would do the low poly art as like a beginning and then just color this in you know, in gray or something. Just one color for it. So that would be the placeholder that I could use until I find someone doing that for me. The Gothic one, yeah, the Gothic. For example, you go into the castle and then before the castle there's just 2 guards. You know, and they ask you, hey brother, my man, what you doing here, eh? What you doing? Bruh, you can't just be going in here, man. You need to pay us some money. What do you mean you want to do business in town? I don't know you, man. And you don't look like a proper citizen to me. You look like a troublemaker. You're gonna have to pay some money. And so then you go in here and you go into the town. I don't know. Doing that for you. Placeholder? Yeah, no, I would do the placeholder myself. And then 2 characters. Kind of medieval style with spears. I'm pretty sure you can find that online. So, I don't know, this is just off the top of my head, right? I would design the map low poly-wise and then slowly make it more detailed as time moves on. Gradient palette is a nice approach. Gradient palette, what does that mean? So, basically you start with 1 color here and then you slowly go into the other color on a gradient, like that. You should have been a voice actor, Cakez? I don't know about that, bro. Remember that in Gothic you could take your sword, run inside the castle and hide your sword. Yeah, you can in Gothic, yeah. They would try, but like in order to implement a feature, so for example, if I'm the character, right, on this road and I'm trying to get into the city, in order for me to code the feature of me drawing my sword and they seeing me and then they are them becoming hostile, I don't need good art for that. I can code that with terrible art. And then I can just look online for 2 good looking characters. And this castle, I will probably not commission someone because that would be too expensive. But we'll see, right? Play Kingdom Come. I've played many RPG games. I want to make a game like Gothic. Easy way to make models or textures, even animated or flip-flop. This it's to use a toon shader instead of gradients and so on. I can help with Blender. Oh, cool. Yeah, but this is in the future, you guys. You know, it's a long time in the future. So it's like dreaming right now, but it's definitely. I will definitely reach out for some people, for sure. You can hide in the barrel. Oh, you mean there's a barrel to the side? I want to make a Gothic type game because ultimately the reason why I make games is Gothic. I started with a tower defense game first because I wanted to build something simple. And look where I'm at now. But I think everything that I'm learning here will obviously help me in making the next game. And I have played a lot of TD games in my time, but I have played like 10 times more RPG games. So I'm way more knowledgeable when it comes to RPG games compared to tower defense games. So I should be good coming up with a good tower defense game. I should be good. I'm not saying I will make an amazing, sorry, not tower, RPG game, but I definitely do have more knowledge when it comes to that compared to tower defense games. You like role-playing? I just like the Gothic universe and I want to bring that to life again. If the Gothic 1 remake doesn't do it, then hopefully I can bring it to life. Kingdom Run is very different from other RPGs. It's way more hardcore. Yeah, no, I don't really want that. I really like the idea of Gothic 1 where you start with nothing, literally nothing, and you become this all-powerful god at the end of the game. And I want to build that too. A nice little short game, not something like Skyrim, but something like Gothic 1. Very much confined. No, not Elden Ring. Very much confined. Dark Souls 1 type. Dark Souls 1 is even a little bit to me. A confined map with a lot of stuff in the map, a lot of verticality, not so much spread out, and a lot of stuff happening. and then you becoming this all-powerful god at the end, and every single skill or theme that you invest to is usable. Like, for example, if you become an archer, you can have really powerful abilities as an archer, and you see the progression going. In the beginning you can't beat wolves, now you invest into some archer skills, and all of a sudden you can one-shot the wolf. And so like this type of progression that I really love from Gothic 1, which made it a little bit too easy to.
I so out of touch?
Want that too. I want that because we want to become powerful.
Pew pew.
Thank you, Smiling Big, my man. I appreciate it, man. I really appreciate it, bro. My biggest issue with 3D so far is the animation. It's super hard to properly animate things. And even finding good animations to buy is a pain in the ass because you'll have to retarget the data. Yeah, that is the... See, that's what I'm worried about too. And everything else should most likely be the same, as I won't have to worry about collision detection because I will use a library. So we... let's hope the library will be efficient enough, right? Kingdom Come is like that. You start like a little bitch and can be beaten like shit by one bandit, and then you're becoming a knight that can fight out groups. Yeah, the thing is, Enex, in Gothic 1, the way this works is you start with 10 strength and no weapon. The moment you level up one time, and you can get to the first level up in about 5 minutes, the moment you level up one time, you can go directly to a trainer, get 10 strength, get yourself a sword that you can find in a chest, use that sword, and you're already beating wolves. So like the progression in the game when you know what to do is so fast, but it can also be brutal for new players. And so I think maybe Kingdom Come is the same. Well, I guess I'll have to play it to see. Can you extract just a little bit what you like from Gothic, like what mechanic? Number one, what I like from Gothic is no UI. You're literally just looking at the world with almost no UI at all. So, for example, here, let me find an actual screenshot of, I think, is this an actual screenshot? I don't think this is. Let me find a screenshot. This one. Yeah. This one here. Is this one another one? This one, they disabled, they cropped this image. This is another. Ah, here. This is actually the start of the game. Oh, terrible. Yeah, here we go. So, here. No UI. Just a small little HP bar. Why is it not playing this?
My man, thank you for $10.
Thank you.
Contribution to your kebab fund. It would have been $1,000, but you said I was too stupid at the start of the stream.
Ah! Okay, bro. Thank you so much for the big support, bro. Holy. And I said you were too stupid? Really? Why did I say that? What did you say? I appreciate the support, bro. No, if I actually offended you, then I apologize. No, it's not because you gave me money, okay? If I actually offend anyone and I call them names, I apologize to anyone. Not because he gives me money or anyone gives me money, but I don't want to like offend anyone. And if I did that on accident, you offend me with bans? Oh, that's fine though. That's okay. I said name calling. So anyways, what I like about the game is number one, the lack of UI. And number two, it could be done a bit better. The dialogue system is... Can I find a screenshot? Dialogue. Maybe I need to say dialogue. Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, this one's good, I guess. Can we see? Oof. Holy, yeah, the game's old, guys. Essentially, it is not that intrusive, and it feels like a conversation between two people because it switches the camera back and forth. I'm actually thinking of doing it a little bit differently for my game, but somewhat like that. And so basically the first thing that I like, hopefully you get it by now, is the lack of UI, which makes it very immersive. Number two, what I like a lot is the characters talking, how they talk to you, and the way they treat you. It feels like if you've ever played a team sport as a man. I don't know how it is in women's sports, but in men's sports, it feels like that. It feels rough. And so I like you, at least as a man, you feel right at home. Because they don't pander to you, if that makes sense. It just feels authentic in a way, while not being this high and mighty speech talk that you can see in other types of games, where it's like, and thy blessing shall be bestowed upon you, and I will hope you good journey, whatever, thy journey shall succeed. Like this stuff, I hate that. It's more like just bro talk, if that makes sense. Bro talk, but in a fun way. It's more relatable. Yeah, exactly. It's really difficult to say. You need to play the game, especially in German, and understand German to understand what I'm talking about. So the way the characters speak with you is one of the biggest plus points for this game. And then obviously ambience, sound effects, the world's music, and the setting of being inside of a prison. It's very relaxing here. Night. Yeah, I love this screenshot. This is one of the best screenshots ever. This is like the feeling you have inside when you play the game. It's very relaxing. And then little things that no longer get done in this day and age. When you are running, you can jump to run a little faster. So running never becomes boring because you're constantly jumping. You know these old games where jumping is faster than normal running and the speedrunners constantly jump? You can do this in this game too. And it's actually a kind of a mini game to jump properly so that you're faster to your destination. And I never understood why games removed that in favor of a stamina bar. Which I guess a stamina bar works too, but me personally, I like it. Like Minecraft? Yeah, like I guess Minecraft. Yeah, so this game just does so many things right. And then obviously you are getting, here's another example. You're getting taken advantage of as well. It's not like everyone is your brother here. No, they also try to cheat you. They try to rip you off. And so now you're a vulnerable person unless you become stronger. And others can take advantage of you and you can't do anything about it. They can take all your stuff. They hit you down, they take your weapon and all your money. And you can't do anything. And now what people do is save scum, right? I will disable that for the game. I will make it so that the game saves and loads on its own and test out how players like this. They're gonna hate it. But I think it is nice. I need to implement it in a good way, but that's what I want to test, because you could definitely save scum in this game. Yeah, they will hate it. I know they will. Because I did save scumming too, man. I think your chat is like this quote. I don't care who you are. We have bigger problems right now. And this is why you like it so much. Would you play Gothic 1 on stream, fully completed? Yeah, of course I will, yeah. Currently my main focus is my game though. But this is, I'm constantly, when I have like a vision, let's say, right? I have an idea for the game. I keep writing these down and I'm saving them into a document of ideas. Some of them are really good. Yeah, anyways, so what I don't like about Gothic 1 is that there is no crafting system for weapons. I would love to... But, oh, one more thing, Gothic 1. The world is not randomly generated, but handcrafted. So if I go into this castle and I beat up Raven, which is one of the commanders of this castle, I can loot his weapon, and that is the best one-handed weapon in the entire game. And he always has that. So if I find a strategy to kill him, I can get his weapon at level 1. I can't use it, but I can get it. So why is that important? Because not only does it change the way you play the game and it makes you want to replay the game the moment you learn that, it also means that you can have like a goal to achieve. You can get specific weapons at specific points in the game and you can directly go to them. If it's randomly generated, it's boring because you don't know where it is. And that sucks. And usually the only way to get it is to buy it. And that type of linear progression, I hate that. I like progression in RPG games where it's slow and then all of a sudden you have like this god spike and you are way beyond anything that is even feasible at that level. But it makes it fun because you feel like you did something right. You're rewarded for your efforts. And so many RPG games nowadays just don't give that to you. Handcrafted worlds, in my opinion, are the pinnacle of RPG games, yes. In my opinion, an RPG game should always be handcrafted and kept small, like Dark Souls 1 at most. I don't like Elden Ring so much, even though Elden Ring does have this too. You can get a specific item in a specific location. I don't like it because it's too vast. It's too much stuff going on. And also the development times are crazy for these types of games. It gets more difficult to support this development process because you need to put so much stuff in the game. And then you want to... Elden Ring, like, even though I don't like it, it's got this one thing going for it. It's handcrafted. So that's good. Me and Kingdom Come when I sneak into the bandit camp, poison the soup, and loot a good armor. Yeah, for example, right? 5 that. And so this type of stuff creates more replayability while also making it easier to build the game compared to building a giant open world that no one is ever going to explore because it's randomly generated. So like, I think the developers have lost... Like they did it right in the beginning, and then for some reason they thought bigger is better, and it worked to a degree. At some point they crossed the line of it working, and then it became too much work to support, and therefore they started losing money because they kept expanding. How would you scope your Gothic game? Probably to the same size as Gothic 1, maybe smaller, depends. Yeah, like areas need to have a purpose, exactly. And most open world games don't have that, yeah. It's just a very vast open world. Yeah, Starfield is the number one. Everyone uses that example. It's bad. Starfield is really bad, yeah. And I didn't play it, but I saw that, yeah. For example, right? But we'll see, you know. To be honest with you, like, I could potentially do retro graphics like this too. If I don't get an artist, I would maybe be able to do something like this myself and then kind of recreate. I mean, Kenshi does have good graphics. Definitely better than Gothic. Yeah. I don't know how, but the guy, so I think the way that my game could potentially succeed as a Gothic game, right, the next game, if I don't have an artist, is early access and then funding the game's development with that. If I find an audience for the game that like playing it. And so then I could improve the art that way, because income from the game will directly... This game is hardcore, yeah, I know. We watched a video on that. Because this guy has been making this game for how many years? Oh wow, yeah, more than 10 years. Yeah, see, like he started with very many players actually. And over time it just gotten better. Because he kept working on it. Release here. Yeah, early access release and then multiple years. Actually 4 years plus later. Are you gonna do it in your own engine? We'll see. I don't know yet. That's what we are going to do the testing for, right? We're trying out different things after this game. I don't want to lock myself into doing one thing only. And then stay hell-bent on that, because I think that's dumb. I think, like, and unfortunately, there's too many out there that think that way. There's so many people that think, oh, let's say, let's use C++ as an example. They say, oh, you need to make your game in C++. If you make it in Unity, you're trash. You're not a real developer. And I saw a quote from Notch actually saying that you need to make an engine in order to, otherwise you're not a real developer. And I just don't agree. Because good games can be made in engines or in your own engine. In commercial engines or in your own. You are not a worse developer because you're using Unity. I just do not agree. And I think limiting yourself to something like that only shows your unwillingness to learn. Huh? Yeah. Shut up, bitches. See, my wife's making fun of me. Like, she needs to go outside. You can be a game developer without being an engine developer. Exactly. Kannst du mir noch einen Kaffee machen, bitte? Bitte, bitte. Please. Das wäre echt nett. Du hast dich lustig gemacht über mich. Ich habe mich nur verteidigt. Ja, du hast mich angegriffen. Ich habe mich verteidigt. Bro. Like, I'm not gonna say anything. If I get attacked, bro. Okay, guys. You can be a game developer. Yeah, actually, you want to know a game that was written entirely in blueprints? You're right, actually. Here, we have the developer in chat as well. We even interviewed him. Blazing Sails. This game here. Look how many reviews this game has. Entirely written in Unreal Engine blueprints. 7,000 reviews. Yes, you can. And now compare that to some dude making a game in C++ for 5 years, 10 years, maybe even. And then having no players at all. It's a clone, to be fair. And who cares if it's a clone or not? Still a good game. You can make a bad clone too. You still need to implement all of these features. It's not like you're just be given a clone and that's it. It's not who cares, it's Toasty Stump, guys. It's not who cares. Unless I misunderstand. No, the guy's called Toasty Stump on Twitch. And we interviewed him once. Oh, you mean you asked? Okay, I see. Some people are cloning Kingdom Rush. Yeah, we saw some clones of Kingdom Rush as well, yeah. Exactly. Like, there's no... Like, Survivor clones. Death Must Die. And what is the other one called? Not Death Must Die, but the one that's like Diablo clone? What's that called, guys? Halls of Torment? Of course. Like, there's no big problem with that at all. Thing is, no, you know, since I brought the Notch argument, the guy literally copied a game and turned it into Minecraft. I don't remember the name of the game that he copied, but it had exactly the same, like destroy blocks, build blocks, but worse graphics. Yeah, Infiniminer, exactly. Infinicraft. I'm not saying Notch is not a nice dude. I'm saying that his statement about having to make an engine to be a good developer is just... I think it's once short-sighted. And you're missing out on a lot of knowledge and opportunities if you try to expand and see more of the bigger picture. Try to look at other things, how other people make games. Roblox is a big one as well. The game developer that made a lethal company started in Roblox. And I'm gonna force Zoe to be Roblox developer too. I'm gonna pay her $10 an hour and she's gonna make a game for me. That's a joke, by the way, okay? It's a joke! Cakez, are you ignoring me because your ban was unjust? No, I'm not. I have no interest in arguing about bans. There it is. Oh, it had the multiplayer tag, yeah. Okay. Wilson, lol. Hire Roblox kids to make art for your Gothic game, yeah. Listen, man, I don't have time to tell you why I banned you. It's too long ago, I forgot it was justified. I'm not gonna engage with this. Let's make the game, guys. ChatGPT would actually fit really well on Roblox. You could earn a lot of money with it. I don't know. We'll see. We are definitely going to play some tower defense games in Roblox because the kids made some really good ones. SpongeBob tower defense game, guys. Incoming. Soon. Hello, Mr. Devs Budgets. Good morning. How are you doing, man? How's your journey on Unity going? Is it going well? Is your game getting more players? I wonder if at some point your game is gonna pop off slowly and start growing because of the updates. We were just looking at a game like Kenshi, for example. Over time, like it basically had a minimum player base in the beginning, but then at some point it started growing. I wonder if that's gonna happen to you too. Here, like the game was stale for multiple years. I mean, I guess it kept growing slowly here. Little bit, yeah, it did slowly grow here. Obviously it went down for the first couple of years. Here was the worst part, and then over here it started growing 2016. So about 3 years after that. I'm still riding the free weekend daily deal wave from 3 weeks ago, but the player count is still going down. I guess it's slowing down, right? Let's see. Stardois. Right? Stardois. Let's see. So you have an influx of players right now. Let's see charts. Max. You are 2 years in and your lowest point, yeah, it looks somewhat similar. Maybe a little bit less than Kenshi, but here was your lowest point. Because maybe there wasn't a big update for a while. But I mean, if we're looking at this, 70, you definitely have a player base, a constant flood of players coming in. Maybe in the future, at some point, the game reaches a breaking point where it just goes up. Why would that be a new game? I'm hoping to pull a Kenshi, yes. See, like, it's possible, right? It's not impossible for sure. See, like, since Zakaza talked about it, the game is bringing in enough monthly to keep you afloat, right? Because having a 65 player base every day is enough for you to stay afloat, correct? Oh, Hyperon's live. Thank you very much for raiding. Did you get a shout out? You did. Cool. Hope you have a good day, bro. Thank you so much for joining, man. And for raiding. Hope you had a good stream. Hello there, sir. Yeah, so see, this is what I mean about having a game. So like for example, right? If we take a look at the reviews, 86%. If we look at the store page, how much do you have here? 80%. So there's definitely something to fix on the game. I have to read that. 60 hours. The game is literally just as fun as arranging and coloring the columns of an Excel spreadsheet. Damn, and this guy spent 60 hours doing that? This guy really must love Excel, man. Holy. He's on point. God damn. Yeah, so I guess, you know, over time, maybe the reviews will get better if he's making the game better. Get to work, Spedges, yeah. It's funny. Yeah. I suffered through the awful tutorial that promised so much only to be grinding in the main game for hours. 40 hours playtime though. Oof. Oh, wait, this guy is just joking, right? 0.1 hours on record and then he puts a thumbs up. This guy is bored. Where did you get this guy? You paid him. Yeah. There's gotta be a friend. He's lying. The hours on record show me otherwise. I can't put the game down. Yeah. Of course. Received for free equals weekend player. Exposed live. You think it's weekend player 15th of June? Is it? Maybe it is. I wish I could review this game positively. Grind set. Grindfest. So I guess you have a grinding issue. Like your mother! Oh, I'm sorry. It was perfect, man. I cannot not say that. Sorry, I apologize. Yeah, 0.1 hours. Anyways, yeah. Yeah, I wish you good luck, man. I hope it will turn out good for you, because you definitely do have a player base. It never goes down to like less than 5 players for you, even if you don't do updates for a long time. Not sure how frequently you do them, but this definitely looks promising. So yeah, and the game can support you, right? I wouldn't say they do. The game isn't there yet. YouTubers don't like your game enough yet. Okay. I analyze myself all the time. What you're talking about? I analyze myself so much that people called me out in one YouTube video that I talk too much about myself and let the guy talk. So what you even talking about, bro? You're so wrong. You know what? I kinda don't like you right now, so I'm gonna send you for 5 minutes on a break so I can cool down. All right? Shall we test here, guys? How many wishlists we have? Did we get one wishlist yesterday? Hell yeah, bro. You know, Dev's Budgets, what makes me a little bit sad is that even though I updated my Steam page to make it, to make it a lot better, it's not there yet. I essentially am getting less wishlists than before, which is a bit sad. But hey, it is how it is. So we're gonna focus more on making a good game. Wenn ich fertig bin mit Stream. Oder wenn du nicht telefonierst. Aber wenn du telefonierst neben dem Stream, absolut nicht. Okay, yeah, that's fine. The Traveler, by the way, thank you very much for following. And Klin and Akosai, thank you guys for following. I get no wishlist, Sag. It's the same for me. Or don't you make a tower defense game too, Farmer? Don't you have that black and white tower defense game, man? You're not going viral. It really, to really drive the wishlist numbers, you have to do something, some serious paid marketing. We will. I'm thinking about doing next fest, and in conjunction with that, doing a bigger YouTube video on my channel, and then on top of that, emailing. We can't hear you. Okay, so you guys are lying. So what's up? You're lying. Cupertino is lying. Oh, you kneeled, yeah, for yourself, I guess. Okay. Anyone else? Because I can see that I'm muted when I'm muted. Good. So yeah, we'll try to do that. Yeah, right now we're building a good demo. Nix, that's good. Cakez, you're so bad, Flirt. Cakez, please remember to reload the gun. Okay, look, guys, let's make some changes. The reason why I'm a bit slow today is because I've been coding through the night. And I guess let's begin. Do you guys want to have secondary explosions? The one we tried before that didn't work. We didn't manage to do it. So we give this guy a keystone or like an item that creates secondary explosions on impact. So this guy is done here with this part. Secondary explosions is something I want to add to the game as an upgrade to feel like, to make it more meaningful. Let's do that. Oh, I was working on this, right. I was creating enemy prefabs and then getting rid of this initialize enemy of type. I'll do that off stream, it's fine. So like I was creating hero prefabs, something like this, like an array of prefabs for heroes. Chain explosions, like basically you do an attack, boom, it explodes, and then it creates secondary explosions that fly like this, like clusters, boom, like that. Do you see this emote, Cakez? Guys, remove it. Emailing YouTubers is a bit like begging for food near a supermarket. You will get some videos from small creators that will be near zero impact, but I don't agree. Because look at this. I see what you mean, and I know, but here, we literally had someone in chat. He gave us all of his data to look at, and that's his first game, by the way. Spent, I think, how long did he spend on it? 9 months. So not that long. And this was random coverage. He got really lucky. 270,000 by real civil engineer. So this is luck, right? You can't really affect that. But here's the part that he had a hand in. He emailed 50 creators and got 6 responses. Though that being said, this type of game is also really good for YouTube. No, we're not just sending... I'm not gonna send only 20 emails. I'm gonna send more. But that's what I'm going to do before I give away, let's say, 50% of my budget to someone else. The way I think about it is like this. I'm gonna try it myself. And if that doesn't work, I will try to look for someone else to help me with that. That's how I see it. And the good thing is I could even also ask Prime to play it. I think he's open to it. And so we have Prime possible to play it, which is a big YouTuber and streamer. And maybe some others too, right? I think I can ask him. Yes, I would. And oh yeah, we also Togglebit would play it as well. Game dev wishlists are very low quality. Yeah, no, you need wishlists from actual gamers, exactly. Lana would play a game as well. Yeah, maybe. I don't have a connection to Pirate, so I don't know. I would probably just be lost in the source. But I would more focus on... yeah, TCap as well. He played it before as well, yeah. I would focus on Soda Poppin and Lyric. And with Lyric, we can cheat a little bit because we have a community. And I can ask you guys to help me to vote for my game. So that it gets higher up the list. So that there's 2 potential sources of marketing that we can directly affect ourselves without having to pay anyone. XQC is probably more unlikely, Shade 11, because I don't think he does the same as Soda Poppin with his Shit Show Saturday or Lyric with his, I guess, random games. He plays Bloons like crazy. Does he though? Really? Yeah, we'll see, right? I'm definitely open to try. Lyric is more into fun. Oh, you're saying my game is not fun. Okay, goodbye. Fuck you, asshole. Okay, let's move on. Ban this guy, yep. Soda Poppin is also a good choice, I know, yeah. So we'll try, right? I'm open to trying it myself first, before I give away my hard-earned time 50% wise to someone else that has connections by themselves. Well tried, right? I'm always... usually I'm a loner, right? A lone wolf. Definitely contact Splattercat. He's genuine. It doesn't do sponsored videos at all, so you can have a high... Oh, yeah. I remember that. Yes. You're right about Splattercat. Exactly. He is trying to play as many indie games as he can. I think he's a really, really, really awesome dude for doing that. Without external marketing, it's normal for wishlists to stop growing, I think, Cakez. Marketing AA. Oh, there we go. Yeah. XQC. We have XQC here. Then we have this daily dose of XQC. Collect emails. Then we have the archive. A good email. I guess I'll put it... I don't know why I didn't write down Soda Poppin', but I guess I'll put it here. There we go. These are just XQC's emails. And I don't know what this is, actually. But it's from XQC. That we found on the internet. 70% of it is inboxes, card games. Every dev is trying to do a Balatro clone these days. Yeah, I mean, Balatro popped off, bro. Like, if I was a game developer looking to make money, I would try to do that too. You know what I find crazy, Dev Spudgers? How fast they are. Balatro feels like yesterday, today is tomorrow, and there's already game developers that have a Balatro clone ready to go. It's crazy how fast these guys are. Splattercat and Nokhirum. Those are my go-to. Yeah, I'll try to contact this guy too. Thank you very much for the names, man. Yeah, I'm a bit of a lucky situation because I do have a Twitch and YouTube audience that is game developers too, that are willing to help out with and share their information. And so we have a good situation going here, and we will try out these things, and whatever works will definitely keep that knowledge confined somewhere, and then we do something like a Pirate Software info page as well. Something similar to that. But we will go into more detail, like very specific stuff. But that's far in the future. Very, very far in the future. Should I ban you now, bro? But okay, let's make secondary explosions, guys. Whatever I pressed just now. Never mind. Let's see here. I think this was the hero prefabs, right? I only did hero prefabs. And then I changed a lot of stuff from cons to... and removed the weapons. Removed the weapons and hero prefabs, I think. And then I deleted the game a lot, okay. Git commit. Removed weapon array, item arrays, and added hero prefabs. It just makes the game a little bit more efficient than to build an entire hero every time from scratch, and also it makes it a little bit easier to debug. I gotta run off, have a good stream. Thank you very much for joining, man. In any case, product is king. You're gonna have a super solid product before anything. Yep, that's what we are spending, or I'm spending most of my time on. Thank you very much for the raid again. And Unikino, Yuukoniko, thank you very much for following. Okay, man, this is so hot. I can't drink this. All right, so essentially, I tried cleaning up as much as possible, and I would like to work on secondary explosions. Essentially, the way this works is if I use the mage, and I'll place him in a way where he can attack these guys. I give him an ability that outranges the units. Boom. Right now it just hits this guy. What I wanted to do, and I guess I will do it differently, because I want to see the guy. Your UI looks pretty nice. We spent a lot of time on the UI. Yeah. And I cleaned up the UI yesterday to remove the top right portion so that this is all clean now. I just don't know what to do with the round counter here. I have it to the left. It does work. It's very close. We'll see. Maybe I'll do something else. We'll have to see. Anyways, so secondary explosions. We tried that before. That didn't work out too well. So, let's see here. Gladstone, thank you very much for following. I wonder if anyone in chat remembers the Rainbow Tetris game. It's super sale, summer sale now. Okay, let's see. Homing missile. Homing missile here. If it's not triggered, then it does the Bezier curve path. Oh yeah, this is dealing AoE damage, but now we are attacking enemies inside the area. That's different. So, when we are hitting the ground, I want to spawn a bunch of missiles that all fly in random directions and then deal AoE damage. So essentially I want to create 6 missiles here. I think we can do it like this. If stats, sorry, effects and bit effect secondary explosions, then create missiles, that, but it's gotta be an ability, an active ability too. Changes survivors. When we did that in Godot, bro. Create missiles that fly outward. Okay, let's see. I think const int missile count. Let's just make it 8 for now, and then we make it scalable after that. But let's keep it static for now. I want to create an active ability. Active ability. Oh. Oh wow, my wife's like sprinting towards Zoe. G Boney, thank you very much for following, man. Okay, let's see. What can we do here? We need an active ability and we need to add missiles to the ability, or the ability itself needs to create missiles when it's not triggered yet. This UI jumping here, in there, in Godot should be a feature, by the way. Alright, so let's see. Owner ID. Owner ID is active. Oh, let's call it secondary explosions. Explosions. Owner ID is active ability dot owner ID. Target ID is not needed at all. It's just gonna be AoE. Ability ID. This one's important. Ability. Secondary explosions. We don't have that. So I guess I create one. Let's see if this works. I can just put this here in. Here maybe. Ability tier doesn't matter. Time doesn't matter. Lerp time, tick counter, triggered. I guess it's false by default. The missiles will be... The missiles will be set and the hit targets 2 stats. So that's the important one. Is... And I just noticed that I'm supplying the stats by reference here to attack the units. And I think that's the last time I do. I used the split count. Oh, yeah. Okay, so I need to create a copy of the stats here in order to build this. So what is stats as a type? Is that stats? It's called stats, okay. So copy these stats. Stats. Stats copy. Is stats. There we go. And then what we need to do with the stats copy is apply damage reduction. So that they deal less damage. Now, chain damage reduction by default is 50% less damage. So I might have to do this myself, or we hard code it. So stats copy dot values on. Actually, we're not getting an owner, therefore the stats will never change. But then the owner will also not deal the damage. Okay. Interesting point. YouTube chatter. What did the YouTube chatter say? Cakez hates Zig because he can't understand it. Superco, did you really have to bring attention to that, man? Eh? Huh? He just said interesting point. It uses the chain damage multi get stat value. It's gotta ignore base. Chain damage 0.5. Wait, it takes the base as 0.5? That's so bad, okay. So base is 0.5. I guess we'll do this then. %50 damage reduction. I think it would be right for us straight because it's ergonomic performance. Guys, I need to go to the bathroom. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. The mage is actually strong, guys. Someone putting his dick in water? What is this? What the fuck?
I drank a potion actually. I fucking drank a potion! I fucking pressed the fucking button! I drank a fucking potion! But you didn't do shit!
What is run drive doing? Can't close it. Oh my god. It's off.
Let me fucking hear you, you fucking asshole!
I wanted to relax. I wanted to relax. God, that triggered me. That burn proliferation, not taken a, not even close to be. No, ah! Compared to his shader, I'm pretty sure his one is way more complicated than mine, but we'll see.
So, Mr. Das sieht's mir das! Das sieht's mir das!
He spent 300 million on money. I lost? Wow, this guy did 4,000 damage. That's crazy. Sorry guys, I'm back. Yeah, Zoe had a... Not injection. Why do I keep saying that, man? Why do I always forget this word? Vaccine. Yeah, sorry, it's vaccine today, so she's gonna probably cry. And we might have to take care of her. Antivirus update, yeah? Vaccine for what? I don't know what it was exactly. My wife went there, I had to work. Alright guys, so let's at least get this done here. So we have missile count, ability secondary explosions. I'm not sure why that is not registered. Maybe because it didn't save. So that is, then we'll hit then we'll do the stats copy, comma, or I kind of have like this twice here. I guess fine though. Explosion timer, explosion count, not that important. Spike count, start position. That is the end position, isn't it? Hit area. Center. Start position is the center. This is where all of them start. Position is the center. Direction not needed. Target location is not needed. I guess we can say target location is also center. Dot. And then for this copy stats, but we'll do a range. We can do a const float, I guess. Range is 100 pixels. I want this to be scalable. To do, add scaling to this using stats. So basically, range could increase with attack radius. This could increase with proj count, something like that. It depends. Or split count, comma split count, or both. Right, giving scaling options to the player so that he's rewarded for investing into these different things. Very important. Otherwise, it's just a generic ability and you can't scale anything. That is what will make my game, by the way, stand out among others because of these hidden scaling options. I'm not gonna tell you about this. You will find these by playing. I'm not going to tell you this because it's more fun to figure this out yourself. And it's not needed to succeed, but it's nice to have. Okay, target components is active ability dot target components. There we go. So now that we have built the secondary explosions active ability, we need to add the missiles. For int I is 0, I is less than 8, I plus plus. What I want to do is the following. I want to const float random angle is a random range from 0 to tau. So basically the entire circle. And then I want to divide that. I const float step, I guess, is tau. So one circle, 2 pi divided by 8, or by the missile count, right? And so then I want to shoot one missile every step, if that makes sense. So missile M is, and then a secondary explosions.missiles.add M, right, for the missile. MK? Oh man. And then obviously the hit. Oh no, that's fine. The missile knows. Oh shit, I filled that one. How do we know if it's a bug or hidden scaling? You don't. You make the assumption based on playing the game a lot. This is not for your average Joe. This is for the sweats that play a long time. The average Joe will most likely not encounter this, or by chance, and then don't understand it, but that's fine. Because that's what I want. I want to have hidden mechanics. Used to indicate hitting an enemy. Angle, ring buffer, rect collider. Do we do a rect collider for the missile? I guess we do, huh? I really don't want to do one. Not sure. Do we need the angle? We'll update the angle. Oh, we actually have the angle here. So const float angle is step times I. Stop, step. So for example, guys, if I invest into multiple projectiles in Path of Exile and I shoot an ability that uses a bow, I shoot 2 projectiles. Path of Exile is not directly telling me that with like a big text. No, it's visually showing me that. And so when someone gets additional projectiles and sharpnel or whatever, and they see the explosion doing spawning more missiles, they can naturally come, can, not will, can, okay please, no noise, position, they can naturally come to the conclusion that whoa, maybe that's because of my projectiles, or this is maybe because of my blah blah blah, right? Shouldn't be too difficult to deduce. And even if it is, I think it's fine because I don't want to handhold the player too much at some point. What I'm doing here, this implementing this mechanic, this is a mechanic that comes in much later in the game when you're already familiar with the systems. So anyways, let's just move on. Position is center. That's easy to do. The hit timer, the timer doesn't really matter because that's 0. The angle is important though. Important. Here we go. Ring buffer index, hit targets. Nothing. Rect collider. Yeah, that one. Unfortunately, don't want this to be a rect collider. Dodge. Size.x is, I guess, the radius, the AoE radius. But that's the new one. Collider radius. And you guessed it, guys, this is another handle that you can scale, of course. So for now, const float missile radius is going to be 12 pixels. The reason why I say 12 is, I think, because homing missile. I hate this. Homing missile. Oh my. Oh, it has 42. Oh yeah, that's a big one. But the missile itself. Oh, it just is based on time. Okay, if that's the case, if the attack, the radius that it hits is 42, then I guess I'll do 24 for now. So this is the missile AoE radius. And in order to set that properly, we need to take the copied stats. Guys, we have the issue again. Like, you might not notice, but it's actually lagging. This stupid application, Microsoft Visual Studio Code, is lagging. Stats copy.stat.values on stat AoE. .base is missile AoE radius. This one is going to be affected by, already is affected by AoE increases. So this one is already done. The range here, we'll have to see how I do that. I think I need to set a target location or something on a missile, which I guess we have. Yep, cool. Size X is this. Missile AoE radius. We don't need that actually. We don't need this at all. We don't have a rect collider. Cool. Target location. We have a starting position, the center, and then const vector2 target location is const vector2 direction, which is get direction. Get angle correct from direction. Can't we get a direction from an angle? Don't I have a function for this? Do I really only have get angle? From a direction, not the other way around. Get angle, point in cone, length squared, point in sector, get angle radians, rotate. Rotate by direction. I see. A point is rotated. That one works, I guess. Is your engine open source? No, it's not. I do have a Patreon where I put up some source code in the past, and I will upload source code in the future again when I feel like the game is in a good state to be looked at. But I will most likely just sell the source code on Steam, maybe. If people want to support me, only as a way to support me and taking a look at the source code. For like $1 or $2, not much. Or maybe only if you own the game, but we'll have to see if I even do that or not. Because I don't think anyone really wants to take a look at my source code. Damn it, do I rotate by direction? Or something? I guess that will work, huh? No, rotate, right? Something? Something, rotate. Rotate the vector 2. So that would be direction. Where does a circle begin? To the right, I guess, huh? Or from the random angle. And then by the angle, I suppose. And then the target location is center plus direction times range. Yeah. And then over here, direction is direction. Okay, now we have that missile and we are spawning 8 of these. And all we really need to do, and I hope this works, would be amazing if it did. All we need to do is create a case here, ability secondary explosions. So I don't really need to create anything else. And then if the active ability dot missiles dot count is greater than 0, we do something. Otherwise, case homing missile. Wait a minute. Uh-oh. Oh no. Huh? With side effect secondary explosions. 4 inside. Ah, no, wait. Here, that's causing it. Let's do it. What is that? What is even let's do it, bro? If it's not triggered, yeah, otherwise it will remove the ability, and over here it just sets the ability duration to 10. So it will remove the ability when the missiles no longer exist, and otherwise it will just keep it alive. This keeps the active ability alive. Right, and all we need to do here is just draw a Bezier path. That's the cool thing. For every missile. On active ability dot missiles, we draw a Bezier curve using sprite animation amber for now, or sprite amber. I think it's just called amber. Yeah. And then the other one, oh, sprite amber amber. I guess I'll keep amber amber. Oh, it draws a Bezier path on the active ability though. I need to draw a Bezier path by supplying a start and an end location. Let's see. And then supplying a referenced position that gets assigned. That then draws me a render quad and a trail. So it is a function. Oof. Yeah, this is too specific. Maybe we extract this out for now. Nah, let's do this. So auto draw Bezier path. So apart from the active ability, we do exactly the same. And we definitely supply a vector to position as a reference. That gets changed. And then a const vector to start. And a const vector to end. Then a ball sprite. A height. Alright, okay. Now, if we copy the entire code. Wait, can you not do the same function name for this? Do I need to actually do a different one? Draw Bezier path 2. Hey, Bytekeeper, my man. Long time no see, bro. Holy. Ah, we need a time here. Okay. So I suppose we need a float t value that we ease out ourselves. So we set the duration here, then we do time. And then we have t. Start end is already there. We don't need that. This is just displaying the curve itself. Previous position is position. Position is sample point. Why would that be needed here? It's not needed. There we go. Okay, and then inside this Bezier curve, we just want to draw call the other one. The Bezier path 2. So the position would be active ability.position. And the start, the end, the ball sprite, the particle sprite. And then the time would be active ability.time. And otherwise it would be exactly the same, apart from this. Right? And now it's probably telling me that I can't call this draw Bezier path function unless I supply this as a stupid... Oh god. Oh my god. Why do you have to undo and redo? Oh, it's so annoying, man. I need to supply this as a reference, otherwise it doesn't have access to this, right? Yeah, okay, cool. And then it just returns me this. Let's see if this does work. Hating C++ const and reference, but doing lambdas that are 100 lines long. Yeah, I mean, there's no other way to do it, bruh. Emit particles now. Uh-oh. What did I do? Does it emit? Okay, it does. Yeah, it's the same. Okay, cool. Okay, that's a big one, because we actually need that. Curse on dev, yeah, you haven't seen that yet. Secondary explosion. So we draw a Bezier path, but not this. We draw a Bezier path too. So what do we need? The missile position. Start and end. Missile.start. You can't be telling me that I don't have a start position on the missile. I have a target location, but I don't have a start position. Okay, we need a start. Otherwise, this does not make sense. Yep, we need a start position. Start position and target location. And then whenever we build one of those explosions, we also supply the start position to the missile. So here, when we build that, target location dot start position is center. Okay, now we have the start position in there, then we can use it for the Bezier curve. So missile start position. Then missile dot target location. We need the ball sprite, that's for the ember, the other sprite. For the particle effect. Then we need a timer. And we need a height, which I want to set at 80. I don't want that to be that high.
Real Super Cool says Cakez 7 cheeky.
My man, thank you very much for the support, bro. I appreciate it, man. Ability duration, Bezier path. Does that include adding delta time to it? Probably not. So I probably have to increase the timer myself. So missile timer plus equals delta time. And then if we do a Bezier path, essentially, then we just copy what this thing does. Ring below it. Yoink. It does damage to them. We need the hit area though. How do I get the hit area? Start position. Wait. The active ability has a start position. We don't really need that on the missile. So we don't need the missile start position because we have that on the missile. Wait, sorry, on the active ability. So wait. This is just const vector to start is active ability dot start position, and then we put the start here. Good. Then we don't put that there because if I do it, I need to restart the game. This one goes away again. Good. Hit area. Where was that? Oh, here. Get ellipse from the AoE radius. Okay, we have the missile AoE radius, and it should be. Since we don't have an owner. Yo, my man Lolboy, I hope you have a good weekend, my brother. I will see you on Monday, bro. Hit area. We'll see about the center. Yeah, that is the missile. Missile dot target location. There we go, guys. And then we can test if this works already. I think we are good now. Man. Crazy. Might have to restart though. Man, what a crazy implementation. Hopefully this works. That would be so awesome. Now I just need to add that effect. I guess I'll give it to the mage by default. Homing missile. Then creates these explosions. Let's see. And I will all test this in one level. Okay, guys, are you ready? Holy. He teleported though. Oh, he didn't have the secondary explosions. But that look... That does look good, man. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's see here, bro. Secondary explosions. You can't really search for that. I hate that. See, this is what I want to do in Vim. This is what I want to search. I just searched this in Vim. You know what it did to me? Watch. This. That's why I rage every single day. And I'm so mad right now. The only reason why I'm not getting angry is because Zoe is sleeping. I hate this so much. I want to destroy something. It pisses me off so much that I have to escape this. That is so frustrating. It's your fault? I just don't agree with that. That's not my fault. That's the tool being shit. Anyways, so I'm thinking... oh my god. I just want to see if I'm doing it correctly. Bit. I need to do the bits here. So essentially, basically what I'm doing now for the mage is I will bake the secondary explosions into his attacks. And I hope that this is enough to test it with the ability that he has. But it might not be enough because I have to probably restart to create a new mage. Let's hope he has this. Let's go to homing missile. I guess the plugin is shit. I just don't agree with that because I'm pretty sure it would behave exactly the same in NeoVim. You know, you could say that the plugin is shit, you know, and I wouldn't disagree. But I think it will have the exact same effect on NeoVim, bro. Please work. Why did it not work? You can't be serious, man. Why are you not working? Stat effect. Effects and bit. Yeah, I mean, that should work, right? Why is it not working? Why do I not have any effects? 64. What is the bit of 64? 512. 512 of 9. One bit shifted to the left by 9. Is that 512? So I do not have 512. Okay. Let's find homing missile here. All right, let's do that again. I'm I'm gonna actually sell all the heroes. Let's find update hero. Oh my god, there's a fly right next to me. Go away, man. Go! Wait, it sets the effects back to 0. Why? I see. So I need a weapon that has this effect. Because my own effects are gone? I'm gonna write this down. I'll figure this out later. And what was I working on tonight? Here. Check order of effects plus stats. Update hero and enemy. There we go. I'll do that tonight. It's just a bunch of looking through code. It's boring. Okay, fine. Then we'll do the item underscore staff. Just gonna add the effect to hit flyers and the bit effect to secondary explosions to it. And now the guy should do secondary explosions. Hopefully. Oh, 512 is in there, my brothers. That looks like a secondary explosion to me. Oh. Okay, that was a bit too fast. It was a little bit too fast. I can't really debug the game like that. Okay, now. When we do secondary explosions, what does it do with this? Shouldn't it go in here? Oh, I'm so dumb. I'm so stupid. I know what it is. I don't add the active ability here. Yep, this one. This is gonna work. Got song for that too, cause it's gonna work. Oh. Why does it keep exploding? No break? No break. Wait, I need a smaller impact explosion. Fireball. No, he's not using fireball though. Here. I think that's the impact effect. Projectile impact effect. I think that's one. Loving your YouTube videos? Click the Twitch link and voila, you're live. +1! Yes! Told you guys! See? Nice money. Yeah, true. I appreciate you following too, man. Good morning. We're currently working on secondary explosions. I want to build like a... Actually, 50 is too much, you guys, you know. I want this to be... Wait. Ability Fireball. Should we deal AoE damage or just normal? Debugger lips. Wait a minute. Staff? When we do a staff, what do I add here? It creates projectile of fire bolt, fire explosion 48. I'm sorry. Good morning, you mate. It's 6 p.m. Actually, it's 5 p.m. for me as well. Yeah, true. True. So we do the fire explode. All right, guys, we need to implement level 2 coding style, homing missile. I only do this sometimes when I need to go Super Saiyan mode. We need to be able to code using 2 windows, not 1. Double the efficiency. Why do you ask? Because I need to copy over some code and effect and sound effect. Boom. There we go. I want to build a small effect. Hit area. Dot size dot y. Have that done. You cannot tell me that we don't have that. We have that. So you're lying. This one's lying. Center is we have the center. Center is missile dot target location. Color don't need that. Impact effect, we have that to the left. Explosion fire 48. That will change. Right now it's just there for testing. Get sprite. Okay, why do we need that sprite? And can someone please explain to me why this? Target location, hit area. Oh, so hit area. Position. Guys, why is this complaining? Bro, you stupid? I am literally supplying the hit area. You dumb? Wait, do I need to supply that here too? You can't be serious, man. See, this is why I don't like these lambda functions. They're just dumb. Kebab shops, I don't want to buy a kebab, man. Listen. Too expensive. That shit. Let's keep that. No live options. Do I have any options? I don't see any options on the projectile, so no. And then calculating the layer is hit area position at Y. Okay, guys. And just watch. We are going to also do the sound effect here for Fireball. Watch. It's gonna be a big sound effect. Watch. It won't work. Listen, I don't need to make a bull for something that trivial. It will work first time, and you will realize how wrong you are in assuming that I can't build a simple effect on impact. Okay? Watch! Why does this keep happening, by the way? Damn, it looks cool though. I think what happens... Wait. Does the AoE stuff never happen or something? Still no walking animation. I have contacted a Fiverr guy, and out of the 3 people that I contacted, 1 person accepted the deal for $15 for a walking animation on the goblins. And now we will wait for the guy to finish. When he's done, we'll look at the sprite. If it's good, we use it. If not, we're going to do it ourselves. Because the other people wanted too much money. I'm just gonna say it, they wanted $50 for a 6-frame walking animation for my goblin. And if I do that, then I can basically just throw away my money and sleep on the streets. Okay? Don't wanna do that.
Am I so out of touch?
This is the 6th time someone's ringing the door today.
Subscribed.
You can't be serious. $15, that's like not worth the time discussing the work itself. Guys, you mean to tell me that I should spend $50. $50 on something like... Let me get a good one. This one's not the best walking animation. But look how many frames are made. Why do people knock on your door? What the fuck? No one's coming to my door? I have no idea. Or like a crawling animation. Like $50? For a walking animation, man? For basically this. For this. Listen, man. I would understand $50 maybe for this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Just walking, guys. It's not the entire sprite sheet. It's just literally step by step. I would be rich as hell if I was doing that every day. Let's say I do 2 walking animations a day. I think the order is too small for the order. Yeah, I guess you're right on that. I'm ordering too small of a change or too small of an order. I can get behind that. But then they should just tell me, hey man, your order is too small. I have bigger orders that are much more worth my time. I get it. That's totally fine. And by the way, Sailor, thank you very much for subscribing, man. I really appreciate it, bro. Sorry, I didn't shout you out earlier. Wer ist da gekommen? Mein Papa. Achso. You know, I appreciate the support, bro. Do you know if you're in a queue with the guy? Yeah, I'm in queue. He said 1 week. So yes, we are currently in queue waiting. Oh, by the way, I also made a slide, but yeah, actually, let's not spoil the game, man. Don't spoil the game. $50 is not that unreasonable. If $50 is not unreasonable and that's an industry price, then I will learn to do it myself and save myself the money, because in the amount of time it takes me to do this, if I learn this, I will be not only faster, I don't have to go through contacting someone for that, and I save myself literally thousands and thousands of dollars, because that's insane. For 6 frames, 5 to 6 frames. That is literally insane. Sorry to say that, but that's way too much. Give me $50 and I will rework that. This game was sold for 6K. What is this? Geiler Mann, ich habe dafür... This is a word though. What is this? I know Papa Platte, he's cool.
Gestorben, bitte! Ey, noch langsamer. Bro, es dauert halt so lange. Es ist super low. Ihr versteht nicht, wie low Sense das ist. Ich kann die Sense nicht ändern. Ich habe auf meiner Maus 800 dpi. Ich müsste halt in meinen Maus-Settings gehen, aber da habe ich keine Lust drauf.
Wusste gar nicht, dass du Pre-Release Star Wars Battlefront 3 hast.
Sorry, ich troll gerade echt.
Okay, yeah. This is the 6K game. Streamer paid Fiverr people. And this one cost him 6K to make. Okay. I don't really know. I think it's okay. Ja, was denn? Noch ein bisschen. Aber du willst dir die Dingens geben? Okay, kannst du mir 5 Minuten geben dann? Ja, ja. My wife needs my help for a bit. I'll help her in a second. Maybe you should do that. No, I don't think I can build a game reasonably fast that looks like this. I would have to use Unity and learn Unity. There's a big overhead for that. So, no, I don't. And I don't want to do that either. I just want to make games that last long. Not really. But I appreciate you, like, but that's not what I want to do, no. I want to make games that sell and then support me and scale up over time. That's what I want to do. How's threading went? Did you use thread pools to do it? Thread pools? I don't use any thread pools, no. Let's see, so why do these never... Why do these never go into the draw Bezier path? 0.6. So they do go. Ah, but they don't remove themselves and then they just stay there. I see. But don't they do the explosion? Wait, there are no enemies in there. I see. I get it now. So wait, they need to do the effect, the damage thing. For any unit. I see now. Okay, so basically this is the impact effect. Boom. And I guess we'll do the damage first, then the impact effect. So, deal damage. AoE damage. Yeah. And then over here, after that, after we're done with this, we do the impact effect and we also have to remove the missile. And now that I noticed that, we need a different for loop for this. Int missile index is 0, missile index is less than active ability dot missiles dot count missile index plus plus, and then we get the missile on the missile index like that. It's a reference to it, and then we do active ability dot missiles dot remove index and swap. It can swap, that's fine. Missile index minus minus, and then we continue, but we already continue here. There we go. And now they should actually explode. And I also want to change the range. I think it should be 50, half of it. And then the speed at which these fly, I want to supply that as a const duration and say by default it's 0.75. In this case, I actually want that to be much less. I want them to fly a height of 60 over a duration of 0.5. Okay, ja, ich muss nur kurz testen, ob das klappt. Okay? Because it looks so... That's what I want. You see that? That is what I wanted. And now I need to work on the explosion because it's breaking style. I need a different style of explosion. But that's the idea. What do you guys think? Let me build some more. Show you what I mean. Help your wife. I'll help her, guys. Watch. Hey, they don't deal damage. Oh, they do, I think. Do they? Oh, yeah. Ah? That's the idea. She didn't ask for help 10 minutes ago. You're wrong, man. That's not even true. In a perfect world, everybody has a shelter, food and water. And I guess I want to do a couple less. But good. Okay, be right back.
Oh my god! What happened? What did I do? No, I'm sorry! What the fuck is that? Microsoft Office? I didn't want to start that trash. Jesus, I'm sorry. Oh my god.
Yeah. Guys, I gotta go for now. Hi. How can I make a sprite tilt forward in Godot? There's the... I'll help you out, bro. Yeah, I gotta go, guys. Okay, I'll see you all tomorrow, on Monday. Hope you have a good weekend, you guys. Okay. Sorry for the interruptions. Zoe is sick today. We need to make sure that she's good. Actually, I just gotta go. I'll see you tomorrow, guys.